Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to JOA, y'all. Bear with me for a moment, y'all, because I need to post the link and pin it. So if anybody wants to call in and give commentary later on, how is everyone doing? I did a live stream earlier, but I miss you guys, even though because it's been some time since I came on. It's only been like a couple days, right? So I'm gonna pin this on YouTube, so then you guys can also call in because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in the media that I want to talk about. So me pin that, so then you guys can hold on. I'm trying to pin it. All right, so that's pinned, and then also y'all super chats. Let me move my hey, it's messed up. Super chats as well is appreciated. So how's everyone going? How's everyone doing? How's everyone? That's my icebreaker question to y'all. Like, how is everyone doing with this pandemic? People are going through different things on a national scale, on a global scale. Let me know how you're doing in the comments below. There's a lot of stuff that is going on in the media. So I already talked about this already, about Whoopi Goldberg. It was a lot of controversy. A lot of people were saying that she should quit, when she got suspended for 2 weeks. And some people say that she should have showed up to the job and just announced her quitting the show. But, Whoopi's not going to leave that show. That show is paying money. So we all know that Black people is if not one of, is the top people that are the cornerstone of entertainment, media, pop culture, and everything. And so the ratings from The View reflected that because with Whoopi being suspended for 10 business days, it reflected in their ratings. And even when you go on the Shade Room, a lot of people are like, she should quit. They wrong for doing that to her. And she's back and she's doing her thing again. I think her suspension was a good thing for her because you can see that there is a level of rest. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I kind of see like she has more of a more of a positive aura about her. Like there's better energy with her, and I feel like she's more involved with the chats and the commentary. So I want to show you guys a report that I was reading from the soap opera network.com, and it says The View hits season low in total viewers. So y'all, like, look, they can't be doing that. Like, like the View, the executives gave her like several years, to be on that show, right? Like she renewed. Joy Behar is leaving. That's the rumor on the street that she's leaving the show because she can do some traveling. And so a lot of people did not like that. Y'all know that this show does really well with women from 18 to 49 and with women 25 to 54 ratings. And so it says, according to the latest figures released by Nielsen, and y'all know Nielsen is a television data, right? That reflects different shows like The View, Wendy Williams, Live with Kelly and Ryan. And it says The View experienced a season low in total viewers. Woman 18 to 49 and woman 25 to 54 rating during the week of February 7th through February 11th, 2022. The only full week without the show's moderator, Whoopi Goldberg, after she was suspended for comments she made on the Monday, January 3rd broadcast. And, they just quoted what she said. If you're going to do this, let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about RACE. No, it's not about RACE. Goldberg and her co-hosts were discussing a Tennessee school district banning Art Spiegelman novel, Moss, from being taught in schools. Y'all know she apologized and, she went on Stephen Colbert, didn't retract her statement, but basically said, in my opinion, from a PR standpoint, it didn't help her out. And then she apologized on Twitter, and then she went on the show the very next day and spoke to Anti-Defamation League Jonathan Greenbaum, I believe that's what his name was. And so it reflected in their ratings, and a lot of people was blaming Kim Godwin. And I told y'all, don't blame Kim Godwin. There's a difference. There is a difference between being the president of ABC News and the and the president of ABC. Okay, Kim Godwin is the president of the news division, and that includes The View, because The View is seen as pop culture, political news, right? Kim Godwin has bosses that she has to attest to. Now, these bosses are from Walt Disney, right? And Walt Disney owns ABC. So I didn't like the fact that a lot of people were blaming Kim Godwin because, she's, melanated, as we say, like Whoopi. And so they expected Kim to like have her back. Well, no, Kim Godwin has bosses that she had to attest to, right? And if you guys really do some digging, y'all do realize that ABC also had an issue with one of their workers, a guy, allegedly just like being inappropriate with one of the female workers right there. And Kim Godwin hired a third-party investigation team, some lawyers to investigate it. And her bosses, Kim Godwin bosses, the people that work for Walt Disney, they were upset at Kim Godwin because Kim Godwin basically wanted to say, hey, we need to make this neutral. We got to hire some investigation teams outside of our division. We can't use the same lawyers we use. We got to hire a third party that is neutral, right? Which is the right thing to do, right? When you do an investigation, you want to hire lawyers that are not a part of or aren't shown some type of conflict of interest with what is occurring. So she got bosses, all right? So it's not her fault, and you also got to realize in business, stakeholders, advertisers, we talked about this already. But look, I'm glad she's back. I, for one, did not want her to be suspended. I am against cancel culture wholeheartedly. I don't believe in it. I believe people should be able to learn and be informed and be educated. I do know she was married to a Jewish man. I mean, come on now. And she has a controversial past, according to sources, where she also claimed that she was Jewish, which was in terms of reading was exaggerated. And it's also been said that her mother influenced her to name herself the last name Goldberg because the industry is already hard to be in as a minority or as a person that's melanated. And so she said Goldberg is Jewish enough, and so like Karen Elaine Johnson, which is her real name, that's not kind of like a thing that you would call yourself if you're trying to be in the industry of broadcasting. So it was like a whole bunch of controversy that came out of that. And I do believe that her last name was given through the influence of her mother. I believe that wholeheartedly for sure. But I also think that she has a more positive energy for coming back. Sometimes, sometimes when you have a setback, someone once says a setback is a set up for a comeback, right? And so her setback, her suspension gave her a setup for having this positive aura that I feel like in more of a participation that she has for the show. And I'm sure the reports of her having low ratings kind of like gave her a little, they can't do this issue without me. You know what I mean? There's a reason why I was renewed several years. And there's a reason why I allegedly got a huge pay rate because Joy Behar is leaving, right? And so they gave me some more money. So it's like, it's a mistake. If they got rid of her, like The View probably would have suffered tremendously. And I believe that wholeheartedly that she would have caused The View to like probably be canceled. They would have been pissed off because like the black people, y'all are the cornerstone of the pop culture industry. And until these people that aren't, as one of my subscribers say, melanated, then it's like they gonna know, right? Right? And so as they did, because they lost, a significant amount of viewers from her suspension and everything. So there were reports about Sherri Shepherd. Sherri Shepherd basically was asked, she didn't randomly say that, she was asked like who would be her ideal guest to be on her show that's coming up in season 1. And one of her ideal guests was Wendy Williams. And let me see what y'all saying in the comments because I don't want to ignore y'all. Give me a thumbs up. Please share with your friends and family. Hey, Neutral. Hey, Squill. So one of her ideal guests was Wendy Williams. Squill says, I agree, JOA. Whoopi needed that break. And a lot of people took that as shade, that Sherri Shepherd said, you know what, as a talk show host, using the same production as Wendy, Debmar Mercury, let me bring on Wendy Williams on this show so she can basically have a sit down with me and explain what's been going on these past almost 12 months. Wendy's not going on that show. Wendy, y'all know Wendy. Wendy is not going on that show, number one. Number two, she's also not going on that show because I think, sorry, y'all, it's just this stupid noise. She's definitely not going on that show because I think if she is actually suing Denmark Mercury, that can definitely, I believe, I'm not a lawyer, but I would think that would ruin her lawsuit, especially if you're suing. And number three, why would you go on a talk show that's being produced by the company that was in dealing with you for like 14 years, and your show is being taken from someone else that is the same skin color as you and that is in the same industry as you? And why would you do that, right? That just doesn't make sense. So it would definitely be a conflict of interest if with her lawsuit, number one. It also would be kind of like it's just like you're in favor of her taking over your show. And so you're like, and with the blogs coming out via Deadline that Wendy's, I'm not even going to call her. That's not Wendy's PR crisis manager because she said it wasn't. Some guy from Deadline basically said that Wendy Williams gave Sherri Shepherd the approval for the show. But according to Wendy's Instagram team, that's what I'm going to call it, her personal Instagram, that was not the case. And he was not given permission. We still really didn't get a clear information on that, right? Because we're not really sure what's going on with Wendy. We still don't know. Like we really don't know what's going on with Wendy. So I highly doubt that Wendy would go on that show. Like she would not go on a Sherri show, right? Come on now. Let's just be honest. She's not going on that show. I do wish Sherri well. Like I said, it's unfortunate that she had to be a part of this, and unfortunately, the people who are in the public eye and who are the face of a show often get the most scrutiny, even if they're not the ones that are doing, the scrutinizing behind the scenes, right? Because Sherri Shepherd just got the show because, she's qualified to be a talk show host. But unfortunately, she put herself in a situation where it's like you are being given a show under a company that is that sort of created and established this new type of show that is kind of messy and not polished. You know what I mean? It's not like Ellen DeGeneres is no more, and then now Sherri Shepherd is replacing Ellen, and everything is kumbaya, right? Because Ellen's show is seen to be more polished than what Wendy's show is, right? So Wendy's show is a new type of show. And this situation is a unique situation because it's not often where a talk show host gets fired or just resigns from their show, and then they're also going through a huge scandal with a divorce, with a mistress being involved, with money issues, with frozen assets from the bank account, Wells Fargo, allegedly. So it's not often that happens. And so, look, I wish both parties well. I personally feel like, I think, and I've said this multiple times, I think Denmark Mercury did a great job, despite the lawsuit, right? I think Denmark Mercury did a great job at handling this situation. It was often said that Nick Cannon's show was supposed to be the cornerstone show that was going to replace Wendy. But reports were saying that Nick Cannon's comments about the Jewish community and how it was deemed anti-Semitic pushed that show back. But according to a source that I spoke to today, the reason why they also pushed Nick Cannon's show back was because of COVID, right? At least that's what they said. It was because of COVID, right? And so, I wish Wendy well. I wish Sherri Shepherd well. I think Denmark Mercury handled the situation well. If you do recall, if you've been with me, if you've been watching me for about a year, I told y'all this. I told y'all this for the longest because I was like, Denmark Mercury is going to pull Wendy out slowly. They're going to pull her out from the rug slowly and transition somebody new, right? And here we are in 2022, right? And it's like they were doing that, right? They were going to give her time. They were going to monitor her health until September, right? Until this Instagram video came out of hers, right? And the press narrative is that she has Graves' disease, she has these problems, she's trying to get herself together, okay, but yet you're on the beach in Miami walking, right, on the beautiful beach, on beautiful weather with beautiful wind. You're having, I'm assuming, your son asking you questions in the video. And so as a business, if I'm Denmark Mercury and my client, Wendy Williams, I'm putting out this narrative out there, y'all, that Wendy has Graves' disease, right? and she needs some time to heal, right? And then my client, Wendy Williams, comes out with a video, right? And that's going against my narrative and my business. That's going to make me, as Demi Mercury, look like I'm not credible. And that's going to make me lose business, lose sponsorships. I'm going to have all of these companies hit me up by email saying, hey, what's going on? Like, you told us that Wendy is trying to be better and trying to get better, but she sounds better and she sounds mentally competent on video. What's going on, right? And so what they did is what they had to do. It's show business and it's business. And as much as I love Wendy, as much as I'm a fan of her, it's like I got to be factual and honest. Like I think they handled the situation greatly, right? I think they did the best job they can do. That's just how I feel. I don't know if y'all feel the same situation. Catherine, please respond to what I sent you today, this morning. I appreciate it. So I honestly feel like they did the best job that they had to do, right? And so I wish Wendy well. I think she's going to come back. She's still young. 57 years old is really young. I think, she has other opportunities to come back with a book, with a podcast, with YouTube, with whatever she wants to do. Like she can do it. She can definitely do it. Okay, so let me read y'all comments. Okay, so Catherine says, hello, Donna. Catherine says, okay, let me go back. I see you in the queue, Donna. 1 second. All right, y'all sharing personal information. Donna says, hey, been waiting to see what you felt about all this talk show news in one day. Hey, Squill. Nick Cannon is for late night, not daytime. I saw that in the Shade Room comments. Yeah, he had Lunel on the other day. I was watching that. I love Lunel. And I was like, all right, they're doing this on daytime TV. Catherine says, of course, Sherri would say she would want Wendy due to the circumstances of how Sherri ended up with the show. Yeah, I mean, you got to be cordial. Like, you have to be cordial. You have to be, right? And it's like 9 times out of 10 with her doing that show, most people that's going to be eyes on her show is Wendy's audience. So you don't want to dictate the dinosaur, dictate the other talk show queen, because she got fans that will rile up with her as they're still doing now, even with Sherri being cordial and nice and calling herself a co-host of a guest host of Wendy, despite the fact that it's obvious and that she announced that she's taking the time slot September coming up. Lynette says that old video of Wendy was from a year ago. Yes, I said that as soon as I saw that video, despite her saying, you still got to understand, I'm Demi Mercury and Demi Mercury is they have a team and they're putting out a statement that she has COVID. Well, not COVID, sorry. She has Graves' disease and she's going through, a period of time where she needs more time off, right? And it's like, you got to rest. But you're coming out with a video as my client. You're coming out with a video. You're coming on my video. And I don't know anything. You haven't been in contact with me. You made this new Instagram account. I'm waiting on you to come to the show so you can abide by whatever the contract says, right? I'm waiting for you to come back. And you're not coming back. You posted this video instead. Allegedly, you're not talking to me. You're not answering calls. The only person you're talking to is your son. You fired your management allegedly, right? So it's like I have to get rid of you now because you're showing me disloyalty. And not only you're showing me disloyalty, you're not being credible to your viewers, and you're not being credible to what's being put out as a statement through my production team. As your boss, like, you have to, like, contractually, you're under contract, right? So it's like, I got to get rid of you. And that's why I personally feel like they did the best job they could do. Like, they did a good job. Lifestyle says, Sherri shall not last. Trust me, Sherri is a comedian who can convert to a talk show host. Sherri's conversation is limited. If she was talk show host material, she would have had a talk show. Wendy and some other executives were people that said that Sherri Shepherd is not talk show host material. When I spoke to the person I spoke to today, I said, I'm being nice. I'll give her 3 seasons, right? And they were like, well, she did so well with Wendy. And I was like, well, that's because they were expecting Wendy to come back. Like, they were expecting Wendy to come back, which is probably, evident to why she was popular and chosen to be this prominent guest host. And this person has ties to the company that I'm talking about that deals with Wendy. I was like, the reason why Sherri got the big ratings is because, yes, she did a great job, but people were also expecting Wendy to come back. That was the narrative that was in the media. But as soon as that video came out with Wendy saying she's well, apparently, although that video to me was questionable, now Denmark Mercury did what they did. They announced Sherri Shepherd with her new show, new time slot. It was no longer the narrative of her being monitored until September. It was like, okay, you want to do this to me? Now I'm going to get rid of you. That type of thing. So that was the situation there, hold on one second, Donna. That was the situation there. I'm going to get to that, Lynette. Hello, Flower. How are you? I'm going to get to Lonnie. 1 second. Catherine, private message me, what you sent me today. Private message me and answer my question that I sent you as well. So, like I said, I wish all parties well, but y'all can't sit here and just blame Denmark Mercury. It's pretty evident. I showed y'all earlier today that YouTubers have or used to follow this website. It's called Social Blade. It's where you can find out how many subscribers a YouTuber have, about how much they get paid, and everything. And it shows that the Wendy's team, Wendy's digital team at least, is now Sherri's digital team is deleting Wendy Williams' video. We talked about this already. Clearly, if you go on, I'm going to show y'all. Now, Social Blade, I think, used to be in a partnership with YouTube, but they're no longer. It's been about 1.5 years since they no longer been associated with YouTube, but it used to be a popular site to where YouTubers can go to and see the analytics of how YouTubers are doing, right? You get a grade. Like I got a B- on mine. I wanted an A, but it takes time. All right, let me go to show you guys Wendy's show. Okay. Oh wow. Oh Jesus. Hold on. Let me see. 1 second. And I got this from watching Chronicle Speaks on YouTube. Of course, I knew what Social Blade was, but I didn't think of looking it up and looking up Wendy's show. But a fan of hers, a fan of Chronicles, told her, hey, look at Social Blade. All right, I'm going to show you guys, because I like to show you guys information and facts. So you go on. Here it is. So you see this right here? I'm going to show y'all 1 second. Let me lower myself. And then... Okay, so basically Social Blade, like I said, is a site. So she has a D- because videos have been deleted, right? If you scroll down, you can see right here, last 30 days, 908,113,222 views was deleted. These are views in the red. You see the little red right there? You see the little red at the bottom? Those are views. And so she has a D- because when you delete so many views from your videos, you're deleting data, and you're also deleting your search as well. So it's going to be a little harder for people to find you. And they're doing this because, from my understanding, based on this, they're taking the Wendy Williams YouTube page. Oh, thank you, Squill. They're not only taking her team, probably her ideas, most likely because Sherri Shepherd was on Watch What Happens Live, and she says she wants to emulate some of what Wendy does. They're also taking her YouTube team. Donna, I want to talk, and then I'm going to invite people on, but you could leave comments, and I appreciate that. So that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Let's see. I don't believe that would have been Sherri's first choice otherwise. What are you saying? What are you trying to say? I don't know what you're saying. She also listed other people. I think she listed Oprah as well. She listed other people she wants on her show, but Wendy was one of them. I really feel bad for Wendy. She's a good person. We all have problems. I would love watching Wendy after work on YouTube. Sherri's cute, but no thanks. I don't watch her. Wendy was natural at her craft. Yeah, and it's like she's different. Thank you, Squill. It's different, It's true. Wendy has Graves' disease. Reason her eyes bulge out the way certain medication she was on is for that disease. She spoke out. Yeah, she does have it, but she also had it while she was hosting her show. And so I never look. Look, apparently COVID it has been a PR excuse for these celebrities. You know, Adele did it. Adele canceled her shows and she said her team had like, with the COVID and everything. But, it also was in the blogs that her and her man is like a sports agent, I believe. They broke up or something was wrong with them, I believe. And so she used COVID as an excuse, right? And you got to remember though, you have to also recall that Wendy's team came out with 3 different statements within like a month, right? Remember, it was 3 statements. So one thing I can say about Wendy's team is they were never good about making PR statements. Never good, right? First they said the Graves' disease, then she said what she had COVID. There were 3 different statements that they made for Wendy. So I knew something was up. I'm not sure if she got the poo-poo or not. There were rumors that she didn't get the poo-poo. I know she lives in Florida, and with Florida, you don't have to get the poo-poo if you don't want to, and businesses aren't allowed to enforce the poo-poo. You don't have to, otherwise you get fined, right? But New York, you have to have the poo-poo in order to be on the Wendy show, in order to be an audience on the show. And Wendy was outspoken when she spoke with Dr. Oz, who is not being seen as the most lovable doctor in America anymore because he's running as a politician, as a Republican. But she expressed to him that, hey, I'm not taking it, right? And I personally feel like she still didn't take it, the poo-poo, right? So allegedly, I personally feel like she didn't take it. And probably that could be another reason why she's not back at her show, because you have to take it in order to be back, right? Catherine says, Catherine, can you send me can you reply to what you sent me this morning? I sent you a response. Wendy will bounce back. She had a really hard, tough time for some time now, as we all know, but she's going to surprise y'all and do some fantastic things in next year to come. Of course, yeah, she's going to come back. She's going to come back. With a book, she can literally be at home on bed without showing her face, doing a podcast. Spotify giving Joe Rogan all this damn money. Wendy Williams can get all that money too. Or Sirius XM, she literally don't have to show her face. She can do some type of podcast show. It's like she has a lot of opportunities that she can pursue. So yeah, she has a lot of opportunities that she can pursue. And so I see your comment. Oh, you got to go. So, and Calvin Hunter, Wendy's ex-husband, he's, basically going through this lawsuit with Denmark Mercury. Chronicle Speaks did a good job at reading the description of that lawsuit and everything. I personally feel like Kevin does have a case. I think he has a case big time. Y'all got to remember, if y'all been a fan of the Wendy show since like 2011, she came out. Y'all got to realize when she first came out, they were not even shooting HD on their YouTube channel, right? They were like, their format was so horrible. Like the lighting, everything was horrible, right? And they built that YouTube channel from the ground up. Now, yes, Wendy came from radio and she was popular. A lot of people in the Black community knew who Wendy was, but, not so much of the world knew who Wendy was. And so it took time. It took a lot of time to create that YouTube channel, right? And so I personally feel like he has a case because, in the lawsuit, he stated something to the effect of, well, they needed somebody to work with Wendy that understands who her core audience is, right? Who understands the culture, because Wendy Williams' show was an influence of the culture, right? Yes, she brought in other demographics, other ethnicities and stuff, but African-American people were one of the, if not the most, people that supported and watched her and everything, right? And so he stated that, because Denmark Mercury has this type of nationality working there that's not African-American, that's not melanated. It's like Kevin basically said that he was the one that enforced and helped get Wendy's show picked up in other places, other networks and stuff like that, right? So I think he has a case. I won't be surprised if Wendy is, is being attached to him at the moment, business wise, and he's helping her with that case. He's obviously suing because if Wendy's over, that means his money's over per month. His alimony money is over per month. Maybe he has an excuse now to marry Sharina if he wants to marry her, right? Because, had he married her, then I think legally that the money would have been no more, right? So he has a case. I mean, you got to think about it, right? When you start a new talk show, you have your new Facebook, you have your new Twitter, you have your new YouTube, you have new this, new that. According to what I just showed y'all with Social Blade, they're deleting all her videos. Why are you deleting all her videos? And by you deleting the videos that she had in the past or privating the videos that she had in the past, that tells me that Sherri is taking that YouTube channel, right? I saw comedian Lunel talk about this on YouTube. It was a very short story feature by someone else that posted it. And she was saying, well, Sherri, basically that Sherri's not taking over Wendy. Contract has not been filled yet. I don't know what people are talking about. They're friends. But, you're taking her team, or at least not Sherri's taking her team because, because I can't just blame it on her, but the production company that produces Sherri's show is taking the same team, right? In a way, Sherri does have a say with who she wants on her team. Right? She has a say. Like, she can fire anybody. She has a say. Like that is Norman Baker's boss, right? The producer that's on television that helps Wendy out. That's Norman Baker's boss. So in a way, if she don't want Norman Baker and she wants someone else, then she can do that because she's the face of the show. If she don't want Marco, she can get rid of him. If she don't want DJ Sus One, she can get rid of him. But no, she's taking Marco. She's taking Norman. She has one guy who's a show host, but he's working as a producer for Sherri, John Murray. And that's the only person I know that is on Sherri's team besides John Murray, her publicist, that Simone is her publicist. She may have hair and makeup, whatever. But other than that, it's pretty much Wendy's digital marketing team is going to be under the Sherri show. The staff as well, Suzanne's husband, Brendan, like a lot, I'm sure John, the person that does all the fixing behind the scenes, the art department, I think the art guy, I forgot his name, the skinny guy with the gray hair, from the art department. I'm assuming he's going over there as well. I'm not sure though. But yeah, man, so I just, I wish both parties the best. But, look, and it's unfortunate that Sherri Shepherd has to be the face of this. And if I was her, I would be doing what I'm doing now, being quiet. I won't be saying nothing. I don't like Sherri's show. Sorry, they will cancel. Also, I haven't liked The Real. I'm going to get to The Real 1 second. What's going on with when Chelsea? I think that Sherri has a niche because Ellen is leaving. Ellen DeGeneres is leaving. So Sherri Shepherd has a niche, right? She has a niche because she's a comedian. I think there's a balance. It's like a 50-50 with how the Black community feels about Sherri Shepherd having the show. There's people that support it. And there's people that don't support it, right? They feel like they were gypped, right? They were tricked and fooled. I personally, I'm going to give her a chance. I'm going to give her a chance. I'm going to watch, like I watched Nick Cannon, the first show. And after that, I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I'm going to give her a chance because I believe everyone should have a chance. And it's not her fault that this is her transition. It's not, you got to understand this. Because someone brought this to my attention when I talked about this the other time, if I were to guest host for the Wendy show, right? If I get a call and Wendy wants me to guest host her show and the team also is approved, the executive producer, David Perler, all of them, they're like, yeah, we want JOA to host Wendy for a week or a day. And Denmark Mercury hits me up and say, hey, like, we want to do a show with you. Let's talk about creative development. Let's talk about show development. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all that I'm going to say no. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to be like, no, that's an opportunity. You effing right. I'm going to hop on the opportunity because it's show business, dude. It's show business, man. This is how it is. It's a business. It's a business. Like that company, Denmark Mercury, tried so hard. They tried so hard with Wendy, right? And it's a lot. Wendy lost her mother, her divorce, where a lot of her money is going, the situation with the bank. It's a lot to deal with, right? And I personally feel like they done what they could do, right? And it's like, They don't see any light coming out of this. So it's like, now they got to move on. They got to move on, right? And so, you know, I think they did the best job they can do. I'm going to get to that, neutral. Catherine says, I want everyone to share JOA with all your fam. Aw, thank you. Catherine, can you please reply to my email if you haven't, or private chat me, because you left me a comment on my page once about you saw something in terms of career and I need to know more information on that. Thank you. I watched his first show, and it wasn't for me. Nick's show is not boring, but it's not magnetic. I'm not ecstatic to look for it. The reason why his show is not magnetic is because there's a lot of people like him on TV. There's a Jimmy Kimmel, there's a Jimmy Fallon, there's the Seth Meyers. It's like, we need something fresh. And I think Wendy brought that. That's part of the reason why she was so successful. I am, after I'm done this show, I appreciate it. And so yeah, okay, moving on from Wendy, all right? See, I've been talking about Wendy for the past 36 minutes. And if this don't tell you how popular she is, then I don't know what tells you, right? And how much of a loss, you know, the people have for her not being on, and how much a loss of money-wise that she lost for not, you know, coming back, and how much of a loss that company that produces. Denmark Mercury, if y'all don't know this, Denmark Mercury produces the Family Feud show with Steve Harvey. Like, they are a big deal company. You know, it's not just Wendy. They do other shows, and Steve Harvey Family Feud is one of them. And so y'all know how popular that show is, right? With Steve Harvey on, right? He kind of revived that show back again, right? And I used to watch it with Richard Karn used to be on there back in the day. I used to love watching that show. So Denmark Mercury is a big deal. Like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Nick Cannon. I told y'all, I don't know if y'all remember this, but I told y'all, the first day I watched that show, I watched it on the first day. I was like, this show is not for me. This show is not for me. It's too. Here's the problem with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was going to do Hot Topics. I think he was going to do Hot Topics, but when he made those comments on his podcast, you know, about, I think he said black people are the real Jews or something like that. And that was deemed anti-Semitic. And then, you know, it's like the blogs were coming out, or different, like, not even the blogs, main sources on websites were coming out saying that Denmark Mercury decided to push the show back because of that, right? But according to someone who's affiliated around that team, they also pushed the show back because of COVID, right? But I think they really also pushed it back because of the comments he made. And so, you know, he almost lost everything. And, you know, with you having those comments that you make, and then you, like, Viacom being able to take Wild 'N Out, and then you being able to not be able to host your own talk show, and you're losing all of these deals, and that can be traumatizing. And so I think he changed how he wanted his show to be, right? He wanted it to be more positive. He didn't want it to be messy. He wanted it to be like every other show that's on TV. And within the first week, his ratings were really low. I also feel like, because if you read the lawsuit with what Wendy's husband is doing against Denmark Mercury, Kevin Hunter emphasizes that Denmark Mercury did not know how to handle a black talk show host. They did not know how to market a black talk show host. So by Nick Cannon's ratings coming out the first week with being 400,000 viewers and being it really low, going on the Shade Room, and you see a lot of people saying they don't even know, they haven't even heard of a Nick Cannon show. That's something. And this is why diversity matters, right? It's y'all out there. When I say y'all, I mean y'all production companies out there. Y'all need to stop doing this people of color stuff for business, you know, and just aligning that with the face of the show, aligning that with talent, like the Nick Cannons, the Wendy Williams, the Lonnie Loves and stuff. And y'all actually need to also align that with people who actually make the money, which are the executives upstairs. In order for a show to do well with a minority or an African-American, you need to have somebody upstairs that don't look like damn Dr. Phil, okay? You need to have somebody that is Black, Latino, Middle Eastern, Indian. You need somebody that knows how to effectively market a show that is being watched by minorities. Not, you know, white people aren't only watching TV shows. Black people, people of color are watching these shows. And so when you have Nick Cannon being a part of the same company that allegedly, according to Wendy's ex-husband, don't know how to market a damn show to the influencers of the world, aka melanated people, then yeah, your show is not going to work. It's not going to go well, right? And so I feel like he probably didn't have a good marketing team, number one. Number two, I didn't, his show was boring. I'm sorry, it was boring. It was boring. It was bad. I'm sorry, it was boring, y'all. It was boring. It was boring. It was boring. Like, his show was boring. It was just not for me. Boring. And then again, a lot of people didn't know about it. And so that's why he's going to get canceled. And he knew. Like, when you get your first ratings coming out, that stuff is going to be on your desk. You know what your ratings are, right? I remember even with Wendy saying, like, when the ratings come out, my husband, aka my manager at the time, would put it on my desk. That stuff matters, right? And so by him not doing well his first week, that's when he started talking about his exes. That's when he started, showing his penis and talking about Mariah Carey and his dead son, that passed away, his child, and it's like it became about him versus about the people, right? It's okay to talk about yourself every now and then, but you gotta do the show for the people and include the people in the show. You can't just simply talk about your show and include yourself 90% of the time when you're doing the show. You can't do that. And that's what it was. And people don't like that. People don't like that at all. So don't do that. It should be more, Squeal, but I'm on a little late. So that's why his show got canceled. And I told y'all, if y'all don't remember, I told y'all that his show was, it was not for me. It was not going to last. All right. All right. So let me read y'all comments. We love Wendy. True. Wendy. I don't care for Wendy. I know you don't. Squeal. I'm going to check it when I get the chance. JOA, rumor has it the Real Nick show are going to be canceled. Okay, I'm going to get to that, films. I'm going to get to that. 1 second. So The Real being canceled. Y'all, let me tell y'all why I had... Okay, so y'all, if y'all don't know about The Real, when The Real first started, they had an issue with my kind of people, right? They had 2 females go to The Real during a 6-week sneak peek. I think it was around a 6-week sneak peek to season 1. They had hijabs on, what the Muslim garment that they wear, right? And they were sat in front of the audience, right? Now, y'all do know Lonnie Love loves to credit Fox and their corporation and everything, right? Just because she like doing that, right? But you got to realize that those 2 women, during the beginning when that show first started, were told that they got to sit away from the camera. They got to sit in the audience where they can't be seen. They got to move because being a Muslim, having the hijab attire was a problem for the producers of the show, right? So they told them you got to sit in the back. So those 2 girls filed a discrimination lawsuit with California. And a long time ago, I tried to call the attorney to try to get her on my show so we can talk about it, but she's booked and busy, okay? And I want to read y'all the whole discrimination issue and everything. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but this made me side-eye the show, which also made me often tell you guys that when shows represent diversity and people of color, they only do it in a public sense. But behind the scenes, against the lean, baby, it's still about, the founding fathers, okay? It's still about the founding fathers. And so that's why I never buy the whole people of color stuff with these talk shows, because it's not true. It's only for money. And I call it business morality, meaning that they have to be moral for business to make money, right? And I wish a lot of people would see that. And I'm sure y'all know this, right? I mean, come on, what happened to Sunny Hawson at ABC? Y'all remember that book she came out with? So I'm going to try to pull this up for here so you guys can see that. And that kind of pissed me off that they did that, but I still gave them a chance, and I ended up liking. I don't know if they pulled it off from the internet. I hope they didn't. I fell in love with Tamar and the show and everything, so I was like, let me just give them a chance. They probably pulled it out. Okay, here it is. Page 6 has it in the Hollywood Report. Okay, let me pull it out from page 6 so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Let me pull it up. Pull up. Let's see. All right. Share. Okay, y'all see this right here? Daytime show accused of discrimination against Muslim woman. Okay, this was like the beginning. This was published in 2015. The Real started their 6-week sneak peek, I believe, in 2013, 2014. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. You know, this is why I tell y'all the diversity stuff that they often pull is just for business morality. It's just from money, right? Okay, so it says daytime show The Real has been slammed by the Council on American Islamic Relations for alleged discrimination against Muslim women. The council's LA office filed a complaint with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, alleging the show in February asked two women wearing hijab headscarves to move out of camera view during a show taping. The council claims the women were told they couldn't be seen in a front row in accordance with studio policy. Fatima, the senior civil rights attorney for the Council LA chapter, said in a statement, quote, Warner Brothers had no legal justification for removing the hijab-wearing woman from the camera's view. No studio should maintain such discriminatory policy that prevents people wearing religious head coverings from being seen in studio audiences. It's especially baffling that this popular show would want to hide their visibly Muslim viewers when the show purports to cater to a wide-ranging audience with its diverse cast. The organization claims while waiting to enter the taping, studio officials told the hijab-wearing woman that they could not sit in the front row because they should not be seen on camera in accordance with studio policy. They complied with the request. A Warner Bros. Television rep said Warner Bros. Policy is to welcome everyone and anyone into our studio audience. The Real is a show that was created to represent and celebrate diversity. We take this inquiry seriously and are looking into this matter. The syndicated show stars Tamar Braxton, Lonnie Love, Adrian Balone, Jeannie Mai, and Tamara Mowry Housley. It celebrated its 100th episode in February and has hosted guests including, okay, so basically Warner Brothers released this BS PR policy talking about that their policy welcomes everyone and anyone into their studio audience. Okay, they were welcomed, right? But not really welcomed, right? The Real is a show that was created to represent and celebrate diversity. We take this inquiry seriously and are looking into the matter. Okay, so publicly, y'all, this is what they do publicly. Publicly, they welcome everyone and anyone into their studio audience, and they want to show and celebrate this diversity publicly. But baby, when cameras are off, it's back to the founding father days, okay? Back to the founding fathers. Back to the founding fathers, all right? And so ever since that came out in 2015, when that report came out, I still gave The Real the chance. And, you know, we're often, as melanated people, colored people, we often give people second chances. We're forgiving people, right? But I still felt some type of ways, and it kind of, you know, as someone that wants to get in this business, kind of just like, you know what, it is what it is. You kind of just got to walk the walk and go through the obstacles that you have to go through as someone that is not the majority, you know, at the moment, or the majority that they want it to be the majority, but it's no longer going to be the majority. You know, melanated people are going to be the majority, right? So it pisses me off. It pissed me off when they did that. And one thing I loved about Wendy is Wendy's team, they showed. I watch Wendy like I'm reading the Bible, baby. I watch Wendy's Ask Wendy, right? And if you watch her Ask Wendy montages by Dylan or by a co-host Colby on YouTube, I often see people with hijabs in the camera lens. And I always appreciated Wendy's show for having that, right? For respecting that, right? And so that pissed me off with The Real. That pissed me off. And then the whole Tamar situation pissed me off as well. Okay, so and if y'all don't know, about a year ago, I made a video saying The Real is about to be canceled because I saw them being canceled. I saw the show being canceled. You can't start a show talking about pop culture, having a huge scandal with someone being fired allegedly because one of the hosts, aka Lonnie Love, allegedly wanted her to be gone because she was seen as a liability. Because if y'all recall, Tamar Braxton was on Dancing with the Stars and she had issues with her she had with her health. I think she had to take a rib out or something like that. Lonnie Love allegedly sent a email, a letter, whatever you want to call it, to her bosses and said that Tamar is a liability. And according to Lonnie Love's former comedic writer, Cookie Hall, if y'all missed that interview, go on Comedy Hype. Cookie Hall basically exposed Lonnie Love alleging, well, she didn't allege, but I'm saying allegedly. She allegedly said that Lonnie told her that she wanted her off the show. And Lonnie Love's former hairstylist also came forward and said, I was there when you said that you wanted Tamar to be gone, to be fired, right? So karma exists. It can take a month. It can take 2 months. It could take a year. It could take years, right? The show, lasted significantly longer than it should have been. And if the Jasmine brand and other blogs and radio stations are right, then according to them, The Real's about to be canceled, right? And a lot of people on Twitter reflected a recent video that Lonnie Love said about her respecting Black women and Black people. It will never call them out of their names, despite the hate that she gets on Twitter and being on TV. She will never call anyone out their names. But, I mean, you allegedly called Tamar out her name by being a snake. You called K. Michelle Keisha Cole and tried to lie about it, saying that you thought they looked alike. So it's like, we see through you. At least I do. I just don't like people like that. I don't like people that fake and do that stuff. So yeah, I found your video about the View videos. Thank you for watching, Cherry Girl. So it pisses me off. I don't like the snake. I just don't. And it's pretty evident that Tamar is firing from that show. Damaged that show because they tried to be like The View. They hired Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales exposed them as well, and they just wasn't the show that picked them up in the first place, right? That had stations pick them up, that had viewers, giving them the chance, them talking about pop culture, them being personal, relating the pop culture stuff to their lives. It wasn't that show anymore. It's like it was like an ultimate betrayal. And whether they want to admit it or not, Tamar Bracken's firing was pretty much the reason why that show dipped down in ratings, right? And so I'm happy that I'm not happy because everything comes through the man upstairs, through spirituality, through the universe. So, once you do something bad to somebody, it's going to reflect back to you yourself. And so, although you should always be good to people, regardless, for a blessing or not, you should always be good because, the world can be hard in general. So look, they gone, Nick Cannon gone. I'm sorry, my friend Wendy's gone with Demi Mercury, at least. I'm hoping she comes back in a different way. And Sherri Shepherd is getting her show. The rumor on the street is Jennifer Hudson is getting rid of her show, right? And people are saying that Jennifer Hudson, y'all, she's worth a lot of money, okay? Meaning that, if you want her to have her own talk show, you can't give somebody chump change for a talk show, right? Like Jennifer got, an Oscar. She's a great singer, great actress. You can't just give somebody chump change to start the show. So a lot of people saying, well, maybe Fox want to have Jennifer Hudson and they're getting rid of these other shows because they see Jennifer as someone that's worth millions of dollars, as she is, but I don't really see her as a talk show host. I have somebody in the queue. I'm going to let them on and then I'm going to continue. What's up, LRJ Kurz? What's your commentary, my friend? Thank you for being on the channel. I appreciate it.
No worries, JOA. I've been checking you out for a while. I used to love what you used to say about Megan back in the day, but now she gone. So I'm glad you up here live again, bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
In a while since
really?
Megan left.
I've been posting. No, I've been posting.
But I haven't caught it live is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I agree. The talk went down after Tamar left. And that was their nail in the coffin. It's been hanging on by a thread since then. And then with the Nick Cannon thing, I think that his show was only after all that stuff that he said last summer about Jewish stuff. And then they kind of gave him the show to make him think that everything was okay. And they took it away just as quick because it's not okay. And then with the Smollett thing, why are people from January 6th serving less jail time for actually doing something that's a real crime? Then Jussie Smollett, they say his only crime is what? That he lied on himself to the police?
So you're saying he should serve more or less jail time than people
on January 6th? Less jail time. He should actually, what I think they should do is like they shouldn't have picked him to set a precedent on what to do with fake police reports. They should have picked the Karen lady at the park with the dog. They should have picked the Karen lady that any Karen in America should have got jail time before this black man for lying on himself.
I didn't read into it, but wasn't he the one that wanted to appeal the case, appeal his verdict?
Well, after the verdict got read, his lawyers did say they're going to appeal. They are, but he's still in jail in the meantime.
And how long is his jail sentence? I don't think it's going to be
150 days, and they're not even.
He's a celebrity.
That's half a year. They're not even doing less. I think he already went to jail once or twice. They're not even doing less time served. It's 150 new days.
150 days. That's a half a year. Yeah, it's about a half a year. Yeah, I mean, it's, slightly less than a year. If he wasn't a celebrity, if he was just like an average Black person, I'm sure they would have gave him like 5-10 years, probably more. But yeah, I don't, what's my comment on that? I think the more he tries to get this case like public like it is, they're going to find out more information, because I think more people are involved. I think more people, or at least one person that wasn't in the press or wasn't held accountable should be accountable, because it sounds like this was like an inside job or like an inside skit to do. You see what I mean? With him.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking at first, JOA. Like, I totally was like, it's staged or something. I was like, is this publicity? I didn't really understand.
Right.
But the way they responded in court today, everybody from his family to himself, the absolute shock and disbelief. They truly believe something happened to Jussie Smollett. Like, he feels like something happened to him. He still says what he said happened, and that those police never investigated anybody but him.
Well, I don't know, but I hear that Chicago is often known for, lack of accountability and lack of like policing and stuff like that. But, so is everywhere else. But yeah, like, I think that I think fame probably got to his head, or maybe just like not having more fame got to his head. It's like, I should be more successful than I already am, because he called himself a gay Tupac, right? So, I mean, that's what he called himself on video. I saw it online. So it's like, I think that maybe the fact that maybe he probably thinks because his sexuality probably like conflicted with his success, because nowadays sexuality still kind of ruins your career. I mean, it still does, because you still have executives and agents telling you don't come out the closet, because that can like mess up your career depending on what industry you're in. So I think I don't know. I'm observing. Maybe he probably thinks, well, hey, maybe if I was a straight man, or maybe if I didn't like reveal my sexuality, wasn't open about it, maybe I could have been, in a higher place, like film wise, entertainment wise, and stuff. So I think that got to his head, and maybe he wanted to be more famous. I don't know.
I don't know. Jail's gonna get to his head too. I don't know. I would have kept my mouth shut. I don't know. Jail.
Yeah, because I know his sister used to play on Full House, and like I don't see her acting or doing anything else. But I don't know. Like maybe it's just Hollywood. Like maybe he felt like, because I understand. Like I get it, because this business is hard. It's hard, man. It's like, it's so hard to get into regardless. Like, it's just hard, and people lie, and people just don't want to be honest. They don't want to tell you the truth. And you got to hear something from a third party to give you what the real information is. So it's like, it's difficult, but I don't think, me personally, I would ever get to the point where I would stage something and use somebody that is the most hated person in the world, or at least one of the most hated person in the world, Donald Trump, as kind of like, as a way for me to get more fame.
Oh,
I would never do that. I just wouldn't do that,
Right.
So he messed up his own career. Like, he just messed it up. I think he wanted to be, someone said he wanted to be the hero, but instead it's like, now you're like, you're not, so.
Well, that's true if it was staged. But if he really was a victim, then they told him.
Come on now, he was staged. He's in jail for it.
Something. He said he's innocent. They didn't literally.
Answer this, because I'm a fat ASS. What Subway opens up at midnight? Okay, Subway does not stay open. This is not McDonald's or Burger King, right? I'm like, Subway, I used to eat Subway like consistently. Subway, I mean, I don't think in New York, Subway don't even like, Subway does not open till midnight. Does it open till midnight in your area? Right, yeah. Is it midnight in your area, Subway?
Not there is one like I'm in the Bay Area, so like in San Francisco, I think there is a later subway, but not till midnight. I never went
I
there
don't
at
know
midnight.
subway that stays
Who
open
wants
till
a subway
midnight.
at midnight anyway?
And why you use Subway? You want to tell lies, say Burger King or something, or
Yeah.
I say
What
that, but I'm
happened
just
to
like,
was DoorDash alive back then? Like, why was he walking the streets anyway?
yeah, I don't know. I just when he said Subway, I don't know. His story just sounded weird. I don't know. You know, even Robin Roberts was like, didn't she say something? She at first it was like I think she said when it came out that it was a lie. Allegedly, she was like, yeah, I didn't believe it to begin with. You know, but a lot of people didn't even believe her when she said that. They're like, nah, you're lying. You're just saying that to protect your credibility and everything.
Right.
But yeah, I don't look. I'm a fat ass. I used to eat Subway because I don't know what Subway stay open till midnight. All right.
Right.
You know, anything I know is food. I know food. Y'all know I eat. I'm a serial shopper with eating. You know.
Right.
I was like, this man should have picked something else.
He should have picked something else.
Why did he pick Subway? Right. You know,
that
and then when Amanda Seals called him low-key noble, I was like, come on now. Like, I understand the police department, the police system is horrible. Like, I've been through some stuff myself. Like, even when I needed their help, and it's like, now you're gaslighting me as opposed to what I'm calling you for. Like, right. I get you, but like, you know, let's not, two wrongs don't make a right. You see what I mean? So when she said that on The Real and nobody wanted to challenge her because she got this master's degree, it's like, nah, you don't say, you know, low-key noble. You know, then she want to bring up Emmett Till and all of that. You know, I'm just like,
Lord, no, I don't know that Emmett Till has anything. That's a whole different.
Well, she wanted to bring up that situation and, you know, just racism and everything. So she's saying his situation is light compared to what Black people in everyday
that's true. I mean, that
through.
Is true. And
I get her, but you're wasting that money is being wasted on the next missing Black person that should be used for that type of resource. You see what I mean? Like, you know, and it's like, don't give the other person that is seen as the enemy a reason as to, okay, this is why we treat y'all this way because y'all do X, Y, and Z. You see what I mean? Because y'all wasting our time.
Lord forbid Black people act like white people. Lord forbid.
Yeah, so, you know. But no, I haven't been doing lives, but when Meghan McCain left, my channel took a little, you know. And
I know, but I'm glad to see you out here tonight doing your thing. And I think I was on somebody's live on like an Instagram something. And I might have saw your name scroll by and you were like, I think it might have been somebody from The View. Was it? I don't know. Were you on an Ebony Williams live one time?
I follow her. Yeah, I was. She was doing a live stream with somebody else and they said, hey,
yeah, and I saw you in the thing and I saw you on there. Oh,
look at me. I'm famous. Look at me. I'm joking. Yeah, because she's from New Orleans. Well, she worked in New Orleans as a lawyer. So she went to Loyola in New Orleans as well. So that's, you know, that's why I was on. Yeah, I follow her, you know, on Instagram and everything.
Awesome. Well, I'll get off your stream, let you finish doing what you're doing. I never usually see you put a StreamYard up. So I was like, oh, let me jump on real quick, support him.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just lose motivation. I was like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I know people want, you know, sometimes you get messages saying, why aren't you doing a video and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I appreciate hearing you for the first time.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I've been in your comments a couple times, but
all right, and send me some super chat money if you have it. All right.
That's real talk. He needs coins.
I got no fucking shame.
the freaking gas prices, man.
Oh my God! Yesterday I paid $53 for the first time in my life. People thought I was blaming Joe Biden. I was like, where in my YouTube post did I say Joe Biden? And like 6 people automatically unsubscribed after I made that post. You know.
Yeah.
Several months ago, I was joking. I made a post and I said, Biden's America. I was just joking, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't support any president. I just don't because where my parents come from is a bipartisan towards how they feel with Israel and Palestine. So it's like, I'm not supporting a Trump or a Biden that right. Like $3.8 billion goes to the Israeli military every damn year, like our tax dollars. And so it's like, I don't care for either or.
Exactly.
Same thing with Obama. He did the same thing as well. So it's like, I don't support like any presidents. I really don't.
Yeah, no,
the only person I supported was Bernie Sanders because he was outspoken. What? Bernie Sanders was outspoken about that, you know, when he was in Democratic primaries about how Palestinians are being treated. So, so, you know, when I hear about Ukraine and what The View talked about today about Ukraine and, you know, and stuff like that, I'm like, dude, like, come on now, y'all being selective because it's like that's what they're going through as well overseas.
Free Palestine, by the way, because
Don't say that. They're going to cancel you. They can't. CNN fired Dr. Hill from that, for saying that, so.
That's horrible. People need to be free, though.
Yeah, but it's selective. It's
right,
very
that's
selective
the point.
remorse. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe in it. If it's like this country doing business with that country, it's like, okay, let's hush it, let's push it under the rug. But if it's something else, like Ukraine, a small country that has nothing, no beneficial gain that they're getting from, a tyranny or elsewhere, and it's like, who cares?
I think it has more to do with how the people in Ukraine look.
Or if Russia, two places, Russia or Iran is involved, then definitely this country, USA, is going to be like, okay, they're going to be on it,
Right.
So yeah, so like I was telling a guy in Walmart, I'm like, yeah, I feel bad for them and everything, but I wish that same remorse and same help and media outrage or media getting is applied to everybody other country that go through hell.
All oppressed people need the same type of emotion behind getting free. All oppressed people.
Right. So, but yeah, it's just unfortunate that it's not like that. So,
well, I'm glad to see you doing your thing. Keep up the good work. Stay motivated. I know it's hard, but
I got other opportunities coming up. It's not YouTube, but it's other stuff. But so you just got to be open to doing other things. But no, something is coming. You always got to be positive, and
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know you'll make a way, JOA.
Oh, I will.
Okay. I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good one. All right, if anybody want to call in, the link is above. So, Catherine, you don't understand how much I've been waiting on your comments. I feel like I summoned you into like sending me that message this morning because I literally went back to that video that you commented on several months ago, and I was like, what did she see? Because I'm spiritual and I believe, like, I'm open-minded. I believe in that stuff. So, all right, let me read y'all comments. Let's see. Oh, hey, homie Joe, what's up, my friend? Okay, let me go up. Okay, so Alyssa Farris should get the chair. I'm assuming you mean the View. Look, I know I've been pushing for Michelle Tafoya or even Dr. Lauren Wright. And the only reason why I've been pushing for them is because I like to hear interesting debate, and it's also good for content as well. Kind of like how Wendy Williams used to always say, like, messy is my business, or, like outrage is good for my business. Messiness is good for my business. So it's like by them having this debate, it sparks a discussion and an informed, educated moment for everybody to like say, hey, like, we can learn from a type of situation. So it's not because I agree with them or it's because I agree with their party or nothing. It's because it makes the show interesting. It makes the show interesting. Like her or not, when Megan was on, like I still watch past clips of Megan and Anna Navarro getting into it, or Megan and Sonny, or Joy Behar, or Sonia Halston, basically schooling Abby Huntsman and Megan McCain. Like, there's a lot of clips on YouTube that I watch and I just laugh at it. Like, I miss that part of the show when they had someone of a difference of opinion and they just have this interesting and comical, entertaining conversation. That's the only reason why I wanted somebody different on that show, because it brings that back, not because I agree. I found you by your view videos. Oh, I'm sorry. I never hope somebody gets fired. I don't do that. Sonny's been through hell on that show. Like, I understand sometimes I feel like she's closed-minded and everything, but she's been through hell on that show. Literally, I personally give Sonia Halston props, because you can't be working at a show and dealing with a discrimination issue that she dealt with a senior executive of that show, right? And write a book about it and take a chance of being fired because of that. Because usually when you tell the truth about a job, especially when it comes to discrimination, you're probably going to get fired, right? It's probably 9 times out of 10 you may be fired. And she talked about that with Ronan Farrow. She told Ronan Farrow, the journalist, she was like, yeah, I thought I was going to get fired, but I didn't care. I needed to tell my truth and tell my story. So when I wrote the book, the company sent lawyers on me, and I had to hire lawyers myself to make it to where I can write my experience that I experienced at that network into my book. And so I give her props for speaking out and not being scared to go against the grain while thinking that she may be fired for it. Like, she chose morality. Like, she chose, okay, this is a situation Black women go through on a daily basis. This is what I went through as well at a job. I'm going to put this into my book. And if I get fired, I don't care. And that's what she did, right? And so I respect someone that does. I know I give her a hard time sometimes because I just don't like the closed-mindedness, and but I respect her because she's a self-made woman and she wrote a book that told her experience that basically chewed out the people that pay her, and she didn't care whether or not she was going to get fired. And I give props and hail to a person that does that, So, sometimes she's closed-mindedness, but I mean, I give people props when it's due. I'm not gonna call her crazy. I think she's I don't know. I see myself in her a little bit, because I understand she talked on the show how she feels like she got to be extra prepared because of the anxiety and stuff like that. I understand what she means, especially if you're coming from a journalist standpoint. When you're a journalist, you want to make sure you know all the facts and you want to be over prepared so you won't be kind of like blindsided by views. So I personally, I mean, I like her. I like all of them, but I just don't like the closed-mindedness. Sometimes the closed-mindedness get in the way, It gets in the way, Lonnie knows The Real will be canceled because she's doing Daily Pop. No, I don't think that's a reason. It's just when you're in this business and when you're like an entrepreneur, you have to be open to different forms of streams of income. It's like you can't rely on one company. Like they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And so that's what she did. Like if you're not, some places they contractually obligate you and say, no, you can't work for our competitors. And so, Daily Pop isn't really a competitor of The Real. So like I would do two shows if I was able to do it and do a show. The Talk was racist. How was it racist? The Real is anything but real. I agree on that. The Real, not The Talk. The Real is racist. Okay. Jussie did more than that. I don't know the whole information about his story, but it was pretty evident that he made it up. I mean, come on now. Like a snail would know he made up that story, okay? But he's a celebrity, so I don't think that he's gonna do a lot of times. But if he was like a regular black person, oh yeah, he would have got years. I've been hanging in there, my friend. How are you? Sadly enough, you're right about the sexuality thing. Yeah, it's still a situation. I was watching an interview recently. The reason why I brought it up is because I was watching two people in the business talk about it. Like one person was interviewing someone that's famous in the business as a journalist, and they were like, she was like, I know people who are in the business now that publicly they are seen as straight, but privately like they aren't, and because executives who are even homosexual tell these public people that, hey, if you want to come out, you're going to lose like your career. You may not get enough, accolades and stuff like that. It's still a thing, man. I can name you a celebrity right now that's a big celebrity, and it's in Hollywood. It's in Hollywood, right? That likes both, but is often seen as being with girls publicly. And I'm not outing nobody, so I'm not going to say their name. I'm sure y'all know already. But it's still a situation. It's still a thing. So when I hear Joy Behar on Thanksgiving Day say that people should just come out on Thanksgiving, that's the reason why it pissed me off, because it's like there's still people out there that still got to go through that because they can't be true to themselves. There's people in Iran who are killed because in Iran, they see it as a psychological disease. In Afghanistan, you get killed for that. In Saudi Arabia. So it's like, someone like a Joy Behar, who's a woman and a straight woman, you can't talk about people's experience if you don't live through it, if you aren't that. So that's why I got mad when she said that, because people still go through that it's gotten better, but people still go through, they go through it. They go through stuff. Your honesty, I appreciate it. They should get years in jail. Love Robin. How everyone doing? I'm good. Just okay. Oh, Lord, y'all crazy. Likes to eat. I sure do like to eat. Many people don't know about, or they just ignore it. Neutral. They just ignore it and they don't care. Joe Biden doesn't care. Joe Biden was given a letter from the first Lebanese Muslim mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, about Palestine, right? He gave Joe Biden a letter, right? Rashida Tlaib also communicated with Joe Biden about the situation. And it's like, I'll get back to you. I'll do something. I'll get back to you. But you just don't hear nothing about it. It gets ignored. It gets ignored. And so while I do have remorse and sympathy, and I'm praying for Ukraine, I wish that we live in a world where we don't have selective remorse. If there isn't no business involvement with this country or with another country, you're not going, and someone within that region of that vicinity is going through something, you're not going to get real remorse. It's the same thing with racism, right? It's like a lot of these shows, The Real and the shows that we just talked about, they often say we're doing a show about diversity because business is involved with diversity. A lot of these media companies see money in that, but in reality, behind the scenes, they're no different than Fox News that publicly touts, being against melanated people. Like Tucker Carlson the other day was questioning the new judge that Joe Biden is appointing for the Supreme Court, asking for an LSAT score when literally an LSAT is something you take when you're literally out of undergraduate school and you're trying to go to school to be a lawyer. You have to take that test to go to law school. So she's what, in her 50s, maybe in her 60s. That test she took was probably like 40 years ago, right? And it's something that she passed in order to go to law school, right? You got to pass it, right? And in my opinion, your LSAT score does not dictate how well you're going to do as an attorney. Like you can be a horrible test taker, right? And still be one of the best attorneys. A lot of people, they have anxiety. They don't do well with tests. You know, the LSAT is not really something I don't think you can study for because it's a lot of trivia stuff around it. It's kind of like taking the SATs or whatever. It's just something that you have to be comfortable with not being able to prepare for something. Like idealistically, you're not going to have the same thing you look at on a practice LSAT guide on the LSAT. So you just have to be open to taking a test that's not structured in what you are studying before you taking it. So, you know, it's I don't know. It's just a bunch of bull. I just wish everybody gets the same remorse and stuff. And this is why when I hear about Ukraine, it kind of just like pisses me off a little bit because I don't like hearing that. If the Views, and I know the Views corporate, but I mean, if they're really concerned about what's going on in Ukraine, they should be very concerned about what's going on with people in the Middle East and people elsewhere. It's just like, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm going to check it. I should check it now. You can come back, Zana. I'm sorry for not answering your call. Let's see. Okay, so, all right. So, Kim Kardashian, y'all. Kim Kardashian. So I talked about this earlier when I came on live on my phone. Just kind of rehashed it. And The View talked about it today in terms of what she said. She was like, my business advice for a woman is to, what she said, get up and work effing hard. I was like, did this girl take commentary lessons from Kanye West? Because now she's talking like Kanye West. All right, I get what she is saying, but she is the wrong messenger to say it, okay? Like, had she been like a Sunny Hostin, a Wendy Williams, a Howard Stern, someone else that was self-made that said that, then okay, you know what? I accept it. I get it. That's inspiring because someone that is self-made, that didn't grow up into richnesses, that didn't grow up with resources and access is telling me that, hey, I worked hard and I didn't have money. I didn't have access to a great lawyer that represented OJ or a Olympian named Bruce Jenner that is now Caitlyn Jenner. I didn't have access to that. So if someone, I get what she's saying, but it just came from the wrong person that is saying it, right? Just like I agree about a third party, but I don't like Andrew Yang to be the messenger of the third party. So for someone that came from richness, right? For someone that also leveled to a fame, right? With being on her back and spreading it wide for somebody to get her down and it being publicized, I don't have respect for someone like that. So I think she thinks she can talk the way she talked because she got a black person out of jail and because she's trying to be this lawyer and maybe she thinks that she has some kind of credibility now. So she probably thinks that people forgot about how her fame, how her instant fame came about. But no, baby, we didn't forget. At least I didn't forget, okay? You was on your back. And you got that black thing in you, and it was publicized, and that's how you got famous. And it was in a song, right? I Hit It First. Wasn't that a song? So no, Kim, we didn't forget. And this also reminds me of when her little sister, Kylie Jenner, talking about, oh, I wear wigs now, and everybody want to wear wigs. You know, like she made that comment like 2 years ago talking about everybody want to wear wigs because she wear wigs, when literally she changed her whole face through surgery, right? So now everybody must be getting plastic surgery, right? Because you change your face for surgery. So it's like, I would appreciate that comment if it came from like a Sonny Halston, or if it came from like Oprah Winfrey even, or a someone else who came from success, not through notoriety, not growing up in notoriety. Like, I don't want to hear that from someone that grew up in notoriety. And it's not to say if you grew up in a wealthy household to access to a career you're in now, that's not a bad thing. But I just hate people that feel like just because their life is good because they grew up in that, and they feel like they can speak on other people's lives that they've never experienced before. Like, I don't need a Chet Hayes or a Kim Kardashian telling me how much I need to work in order to succeed, when literally your introduction to working, you had a level up instantly, right? It's like Meghan McCain telling me how to be successful, when it's the same thing. It's like, I don't want to hear Meghan McCain telling me I need to work hard to be in his business, or to be in any business, or to be a business person, because it's like, girl, you got jobs through your father, literally. Like, it's hard. Like the way her career trajectory went, I have to work 10 times harder. It's going to probably take me 10 to 20 years to get to the area she went to on The View. That takes a long time for someone that doesn't have a family that is high profile with accolades, and doesn't have access to a Fox News, an MSNBC, a CNN, the Daily Beast, whatever, a reality show that she had, iHeartRadio, the radio show she was doing. Like it's going to take me probably like 10 years to get to the platform that she was on The View, because that's hard work, right? You just can't do that, right? Just like somebody gets divorced, I'm not going to get advice from them. If I'm trying to get married, I'm not going to ask for their advice. I'm not, because they're divorced. They're divorced. Not to say that they can't give me a good perspective, but I don't want to I would rather get advice from someone that's in a long lasting marriage. Right. So yeah. So I don't care that she made that comment, but of course, a lot of people commented on that comment that she made. One of those people that made that that didn't like her comment was Jamila Hill. The other person was Bevy Smith, who co-hosted Wendy with Terrence J. And, Bevy did a whole tweet about it, and the Shade Room picked it up. I'm going to read it to y'all. So Bevy Smith said this. She said, I live nice in New York City. That means I can afford to live well in any city in America. I worked hard, sure, but so did my dad, who at the height of his work life, not career, made $50,000 a year. My father wasn't a slacker. He got off his ASS every day and commuted for hours to provide for us. New York, top 1% income threshold is $777,126. Top 5% income household is $265,530. Yet New York's minimum wage is $15 per hour. So how does working hard get me to even the 5% threshold, which is, like I said, $265,530? She has a point. And I would actually rather take advice from Bevy Smith than in Kim Kardashian, because Bevy Smith is at a level in her career where she didn't even go to college. She didn't go to college. Like, she hustled, she met different people, she worked for different people. That's how she got into being the marketing director of Vibe magazine and being the marketing director of Rolling Stone magazine. She decided that she was unhappy. She did not want that career anymore. So she is a spiritualist and believes in the law of attraction and believing in manifestation. And so, it took her several years, but she ended up, getting a radio show through Andy Cohen, and that radio show sprouted into other things, right? So she planted a seed, she got a radio show, and that seed right there planted other seeds. And so I personally would take advice from a smart business lady like Bevy Smith versus someone who grew up in the business of greatness, of having a father who was a lawyer to O.J. Simpson, of having a stepfather. Okay, she had two chances: a father who was big, right, and famous. She had a second father or a stepfather, right, or I don't know how stepmom now, Caitlyn Jenner, right, that was in the business, right. And so, I'm not knocking down Kris Jenner. I think Kris Jenner is a smart businesswoman because, I was reading and I was watching the interview of how she was talking about how her ex-husband, can I say ex-husband, Bruce Jenner, basically was not getting any more, like, they ran out of money because he was no longer, or she was no longer in the Olympics, right? And so Kris Jenner was able to have Bruce at the time, when he was Bruce, able to speak at different events and charge money for that as a business. And then they started opening these Kim Kardashian, well, not Kim Kardashian, these what are they called? Kardashian doll stores or whatever, these shops that they had. And then they were able to network and find a reality TV show. Like I'm sure she pitched for that, right? Pitched for a reality show, right? You know, she probably saw the strategy that past reality shows did. And she probably was like, hey, we should do a reality show about our life and our kids and our business and work from that. So she's smart. Her mother is smart, and I give her that. Her mom is really smart in business, but I'm not taking advice from a woman who grew up into fame, right? Who grew up working for Paris Hilton, right? You know, being her assistant, right? I'm not taking that. I'd rather take advice from a Bevy Smith, right? Who didn't go to college, where a lot of people go to college for broadcasting, right? And not going to college, that's even way harder to get into broadcasting if you don't go to school, right? So you see what I mean? Like, people were like upset that she said that. So Bevy Smith got on her about that. And someone told me today, Jamila Hill, who's an actress, but the Shade Room also talked about her addressing what Kim Kardashian said. So Jamila Hill said, I think if you grew up in Beverly Hills with super successful parents and what was simply a smaller mansion, nobody needs to hear your thoughts on success/work ethic. This same 24 hours in the day, SHIT, is a nightmare. 99% of the world grew up with a very different 24 hours. She's right. You also got to consider other people outside of this country. A lot of people forget that North America is not the only continent on planet Earth. There's South America, there's Europe, there's Asia, there's Australia, there's Antarctica. There's other places that don't have the same type of opportunities that we individuals have here in the United States of America, right? So it's like, do I tell someone to work hard in Palestine or in Asia or in Malaysia or Indonesia and other countries that don't have the same type of access or opportunities that I have here in America? Do I tell them that? Because working hard for them is scraping for coins and dollars to, you know, feed people on the table. Working hard for me is studying and networking and meeting different people to excel in my career. So working hard is it's subjective, right? It's based on how you feel, right? It's not like everybody's sense of working hard and everybody having a sense of 24 hours in a day is different. It's not the same. So, you know, her statement was general, right? It's not for everybody. So yeah, people got mad. And so yeah, so like, you know, don't take working hard from someone that, you know, that grew up in it, you know. And it's not to say that people who grew up in families that had money and stuff, it's not to demonize them. I actually would rather be successful and be and feel successful than have children and have my children able to have access to things that I didn't have access for. You know, that's something great to have. I told y'all this, I don't believe children should be brought into this world when, you know, your financial situation, your mental situation, your spirituality situation, whatever you believe in, your faith is not up par. I believe that all of that should be up par before you bring another human being into this world, because, you know, bringing someone into this world with hardships is only going to make their mentality worse. That's just how I feel. And so, you know, I understand her message, but it came from the wrong person, you know. So okay, so I want to highlight Sheryl Underwood. Y'all know Sheryl Underwood from The Talk. She's actually one of my favorites on The Talk. She actually just renewed a 3-year deal with The Talk, and also is in development with CBS Studios to create content with them. Variety did an exclusive with Sheryl Underwood. So I don't know if y'all heard about that. Let's see. Give me get the Variety, because that's the exclusive that they did. Why is it not showing? And it's interesting because a lot of people were saying that Sheryl Underwood is the next person to be fired and yada yada yada, because after what happened to Sharon Osbourne, and she's next. And so by this coming out, it kind of, you know, that that kills that narrative. It kills that narrative. All right, so I'm just gonna do it from the rap. I don't got time to be finding the. I originally saw this on Variety. So I'm happy for. Let's see, Sheryl Underwood. Let's see, she's really nice. If you follow her on Twitter, she's gonna follow you right back. Like she's gonna follow you right back. All right, so here it is, y'all. Here it is. It says. Sheryl Underwood renews at the talk, signs multi-year development deal with CBS Studios, y'all. So just reading through this and everything, she basically talks about, She basically talks about how she was getting all of these calls, and each time she goes for calls for meetings and opportunities, she would get denied, right? And so she got this random call she didn't want to answer, and it was for a show called The Talk that she didn't know about, right? The first thing they asked her on the phone, because they knew she was a comedian, they were like, who did you vote for? Or who would you vote for? And she was like, who is this? I can't answer that question. And so they laughed, and that right there, they knew she was cut for the job. And so she called Sherri Shepherd, because, Sherri Shepherd was on The View, right, for like 7 years, right? And Sherri Shepherd gave her advice. So if y'all want me to read this, we can read it together. We can read the story together. So it basically says that, so it says the talk host Sheryl Underwood has signed a multi-year deal with CBS to remain on a daytime talk show through season 15, okay? Since the show is currently in season 12, that means Underwood would remain with the show until at least 2025. Her new deal also includes a 2-year first look agreement with CBS Studios, which produces the series. The actress and comedian joined the talk in its second season in 2011 and won a Daytime Emmy Award with her co-host in 2017. Y'all also got to realize she is the longest African-American to be on that show. Like Eve left, the other comedian left. I forgot her name. The other comedian that was on that show for a significant amount of time, but she left. And so in addition to Underwood, the current host lineup includes former NFL star Akbar, Today and Dateline, NBC alum Natalie Morales, actor Jerry O'Connell, and Amanda Kloots, who joined the show in January 2021 after a stint as a guest host. They go through Carrie Ann Inaba, Elaine Wilteroth, and Sharon Osbourne right here. It says the series has gone through a revolving door of hosts recently with, Sharon Osbourne, Carrie Ann, Elaine Wilteroth. Still, the show just posted its largest overall audience, an average of 1.662 million viewers for the week of January 3rd to February 4th. It's best since April 20 to April 24th. The series celebrates its 2500th episode on March 11th. So when you think about the viewership, a lot of shows like Wendy or The View, they get that in a day, So a lot of people are shocked that it's still on air, but hey, it's still on air, and they get that in a day. So they didn't do a whole story on it like the Variety did, but she basically said that she wants to produce movies. She wants to produce, she wants to be like Steve Harvey and produce other shows. She wants to do a late night daytime talk show as well. And she wants to making cameos with the movies that she produced, and also she wants to give highlight to people who are comics, but that are the underdogs in the industry. So yeah, man, I'm happy for her. Anytime someone that is a person of color, minority, I'm happy, because I understand it's hard. And it's unfortunate that it took them 10 years for her to have that kind of, opportunity. But you also got to realize with the talk, they are the underdogs, and a lot of people come and go with those shows. And so networks like CBS or ABC, they got to see that you are reliable, and you got to be consistent, right? And so her being on that show 10 plus years, I guess, shows that they're consistent. Hey, Jocelyn, I see you in the queue. And so I like them all neutral. I don't dislike people. Sherri is annoying. Her comments about black hair was disgusting and racist. Having a production deal doesn't mean her projects will be a green light. Everybody and their mama has a deal. You mean Sheryl? Are you talking about Sheryl? Because I recall her going on to talk and wearing her natural hair. She wore her natural hair on the show. She wore her natural hair on the show. If you follow her on Twitter, she follows you back. You tweet her, she retweets you. She may reply. A lot of people don't do that. They don't do that, in the business. So we talked about Jussie Smollett, y'all. Like I just saying about Jussie Smollett. Unfortunately, I think if he keeps trying to appeal this case, more stuff that did not come out is going to come out. I think a lot of cases that are inside jobs aren't, sometimes they're not investigated thoroughly. I'm speaking of experience, by the way. I don't want to get too personal, but I'm speaking of experience about, let's say, I don't want to talk about it, but like, it's like, it's clearly, I feel like it was an inside job. I feel like he had people in his ear telling him what to do. I feel like with him having his sexuality and him being famous, maybe he's like, well, maybe if I was straight and black, maybe my career would be more pivoted. Maybe I would have more plight in my career. But I feel like fame got to him, and maybe his level of success was not enough for him. And I get him. I understand where he's coming from, but I'm not about to make up a story to make it seem like I am trying to be like a Colin Kaepernick and make it believable so everybody could like me. So, minority America, African-American America could like me. No, I'm not doing that, right? So it's like, I understand, like, being a black person and, with him, with the LGBTQIA, I'm sure, like, because he called himself a gay Tupac. That's what he said. I understand. I get it. It's still not accepted in this industry. You're a black man first and you're gay second, right? So it's like, it's understandable, but like, come on, dude. Like, Empire was a good show. It was a hit show. And it's like, you ruined your career. And I still wish him well, but yeah, man, it's just like, I don't have anything else to say about the story. I'm like over it. Because it's like, you are wasting people's tax dollars in Chicago, right? You are wasting their tax dollars. You're wasting money for minorities and other black folks to be found that are missing, that are in trouble situations. And Chicago is going to want that money back. So as much as you want to keep appealing this, you're going to probably have to owe out as much money as well. So man, just lose it, dude. Like, come on now, get over it. Like, come on, man. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So I wish him well either way. Like, I wish him well, but it's like, come on, dude. Really? I don't know if it's a coincidence to y'all, but with Jennifer Hudson having her new show and all of these shows ending, like from Nick Cannon to The Real, it's like, it seems like, I don't know, the rumor is like they trying to get Jennifer Hudson, right? Because I do recall when Ellen DeGeneres announced that she's leaving her show, right? Because after that scandal and everything, well, she said because she's tired of it or something. She wants to move on. But we all know why she's leaving that show, because that scandal came out, right? They wanted, I believe, the word on the street was they wanted Tiffany Haddish to be a talk show host, because Tiffany Haddish was getting all of this media buzz and everything. And it's like, it's like talk shows, they shoot like 9 months out the year. And when you are an actress, you are offered millions of dollars by different movies and stuff like that. And so talk shows aren't going to pay what Tiffany Haddish is worth. So I think Tiffany Haddish probably was like, nah, it's not the time for a talk show, right? So, with Fox ending these 2 shows, right? Well, now Wendy, 3 shows, Jennifer Hudson is set to have a show. So this is according to the Tennessee Tribune, right? So it says, Academy Award winner and Ebony September 2021 digital cover star Jennifer Hudson is slated to host her own daytime talk show titled The Jennifer Hudson Show in the fall of 2022. Now, Sherri Shepherd, girl, you want to have competition. This ain't the right time for competition, okay? It says produced by Warner Brothers. Now, these are the same people that produced Ellen DeGeneres' show, okay? Unscripted television, the 1-hour syndicated series will air on Fox television stations throughout the country. As Variety first reported back in November, the Jennifer Hudson show also comes from Ellen production company Telepictures, Andy Lassner, and Mary Colony. Now, these 2 people are executive producers of the Ellen show. They worked as showrunners on Hudson's test show. I didn't even know she had a test show. Where was her test show? Which was filmed on DeGeneres stage last fall. Did y'all know about her show being filmed last fall? Because usually the viewers got to know about the test show. I didn't know about her. I'm going to look it up on YouTube, her test show, and watch it. After a bidding war, Fox TV stations won the rights to the show. They know that she is this accomplished singer, accomplished actress. They see her as something worth of value. So I can see how these other shows are ending, because they need that budget money to give the amount that Jennifer Hudson agents wants her to have, right? Hudson show is primed to be the studio new flagship daytime talk show after DeGeneres retires after her 19th season run. Okay, y'all, I'm worried about Sherri Shepherd because I told y'all Sherri Shepherd got a niche market, right? Because Ellen is leaving. And Sherri's a comedian, right? So it's like by Jennifer having her show with the same production company and also using the same executive producers, Andy Lassner, who's a guy who basically was always on the forefront that Ellen used for to go on haunted houses. And he's like at the end of the video, dressed like Ellen. If you watch the Ellen show or used to watch the Ellen show, like those two people, Mary Colony and Andy Lassner, are going to be the producers of the Jennifer Hudson show. Now, you know, having two high-profile executive producers that worked on a 19-year show sets an advantage for Jennifer Hudson. So I'm worried about Sherri now. Okay, so I want them both to win, but I mean, you know, let's just be honest here. It's business. It's business. All right. So it says the Hudson show, like I said, is primed to be the studio's new flagship show, daytime talk show after DeGeneres retires after her 19-season run. Okay, so this is what Jennifer said. She said, I have experienced so much in my life. Y'all, she lost her family too, I believe. And some people often say she sacrificed her family. You know, there's conspiracies, but I've seen the highest of the highs, the lows of the lows, and just about everything in between. But as my mother always told me, once you think you have seen it all, just keep on living. People from around the world have a part of my journey from the beginning 20 years ago, and I'm so ready to join their journey as we sit down and talk about the things that inspire and move us all. I have always loved people, and I cannot wait to connect on deeper level and let audiences see the different sides of who I am, the human being in return. I couldn't be more thrilled to do it alongside this incredible team. We're about to have a lot of fun and shake things up a little bit. So I don't know if they're trying to do the Kelly Clarkson and just get a singer from American Idol and have her do a show. I mean, Jennifer and Kelly, they had their little weight stuff and they lost the weight and everything, but I don't know who Jennifer Hudson is as a person personally. I know she's a good singer and a good actress. You know, I don't even know who Kelly was, but I just knew Kelly was relatable because of her weight, and because of watching her show. But so I'm going to give her a chance as well. So Mike Darnell, the president of Warner Bros. Unscripted Television, expressed his excitement about the launch of the Jennifer Hudson show. He said, I knew that Jennifer was a force to be reckoned with. It sounds like a brother because his name's Mark Darnell. Okay, he says, I knew that Jennifer was a force to be reckoned with from the moment I met her nearly 20 years ago. From her Grammy-winning career in music to her Oscar-winning acting career, Jennifer, amazing talent, big heart, and authenticity. I can't say this word sometimes. Authenticity shine through in everything she does. I'm thrilled to be working with her in this new role. She's a natural, and I know audiences will embrace her in their homes every day. Okay, and they talk about how the talk show is the latest accomplishment in a banner year for Hudson, who recently won the Entertainer of the Year at the 53rd NAACP Image Awards for portraying Aretha Franklin in Respect. Frank Seachaw, Executive Vice President of Program at Fox Television Station, stated that Hudson could be the new voice in the daytime talk show world. As the syndication business continues to go through a major sea change, we need power players to re-energize talk shows. And Jennifer Hudson is just that. I don't know about her show that she had. That was a test run on Ellen's lot, or not Ellen's lot, Ellen DeGeneres set. I'm going to look that up on YouTube and watch it and give her a chance. I don't know what the show is, but I don't see her as a talk show host. I'm just being honest. I like her, but I don't see her as a talk show host. Let's see. Let me go back to your comments. Okay. Jussie Smollett is a hot mess. Sherry's okay, I read that. Do you dislike Sheryl over Wendy since you bashed her more? I don't bash Sheryl. I was just saying the whole thing about Sharon Osbourne and Sheryl and Elaine Welteroth. Well, it's more about Elaine Welteroth and Sheryl. I don't know what Cheryl's thing was, but Elaine spoke for Sheryl. I just thought that they used the whole, the fact that we still deal with systemic issues. They use that as a scapegoat to get rid of Sharon Osbourne. That's just how it was. That's just all I said. What do you think about Kim K's most recent advice from when? Oh, you missed that hidden. I already covered that. Covered that. I gotta watch that. Why can't she say a comment about being she's black? Why can't she make that comment? I gotta watch it. I gotta see that in context. But I mean, she's black. Why can't she say that? Jussie did a disservice in the city of Chicago. Jennifer's a good actress also. Okay, but is her test show was already done according to this article, right? And I don't know anything about her test show. Kelly is sweet, but she's a mediocre talk show host. Recently, Sally Jesse Raphael, who was interviewed and said, Kelly, I actually was on Sally Jesse Raphael's Twitter, and she said that I don't know if you got it from the Sun, but she said a lot of these blogs got her wrong and they took her comments out of context. So I gotta look into that. The test isn't available on YouTube because it's private. Yeah, so she's basically just being given a show, man. You know, she's not getting test runs, she's given a show. You know, but I don't know if they aired it on television, maybe, because like I said, they normally look at 4 markets. Like they look at like Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, you know, Texas, maybe, and they do a test run. So maybe it wasn't on YouTube, maybe it was just on TV in those 4 big markets. But, you know, according to this article, they did a test run. I don't know Jennifer Hudson. I watched her on Stephen Colbert, and they sang a song together. Like I think they see the highlight of Kelly Clarkson's show, and they want someone else that can represent that, and they see that as okay, she's a singer as well. You know, she struggled with her weight as well. She's been through things as well. Let's have her have her own talk show. But I don't know, man. I gotta look at more Jennifer Hudson interviews. I saw her when she was on The Real, and I enjoyed her when she was on The Real. But I'm gonna give her a chance. But I just don't see a talk show for her. Like she was on The Voice, and she threw a shoe at a woman. That's what my people do. When you throw a shoe at people, I mean, you're not giving them a compliment, means you're pissed off. Like the guy who threw a shoe, I think the guy from Iraq threw a shoe at George W. Bush back in the day. Y'all remember that? If y'all old enough, he threw a shoe. But yeah, I'm gonna give her a chance, but I just never really saw her doing a talk show. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Jussie did a disservice to the city. That's what I said. Basically, Lori. I like Jennifer Hudson. Also, Ellen is fake and hateful. Jennifer has a great voice. Jennifer is a good actress. Yes. She's talented. I mean, I won't be surprised, Film, if that was the case. I mean, her mom pretty much pimped out her daughter. Her Kim Kardashian literally lost her virginity to one of the Jackson family, right? I forgot the name, but the mom gave her an approval. Hey, if you want to lose it, let's get you on birth control. So, you know, that family just pimped out. So if working hard means spreading your legs to famous people, then, you know, that's how they roll. So, but yeah, so I'm going to watch it, and I wish Jennifer Hudson well. I heard Nicki Minaj is getting her own show as well. Is that true? Like, what's up with all of these talk shows? You know, and I'm not entirely sure if that's true. Okay, she's bringing on an Amazon app. All right. It says Complex reported that Nicki Minaj talks new partnership to bring Queen Radio to Amazon new AMP app. Okay, so keep Queen Radio on your tweets, and I'll address this press release and other questions on my IG Live at 1 p.m. PST. We about to get into some things. Oh, don't tell anybody, but the secret code for Barb's only on app is Nicki Minaj. Download it, and I'll see you soon on AMP. Now, if she has her talk show, I can see her show doing well because she has fans that literally ride for her, like how the Beyonce fans ride for her as well. So if you know, I can see her show doing well, not because she's a great talk show host, but I can see her show doing well because she has a loyal fan base. And so Amazon picked up her show apparently. And so she's have, you know, she has talk show to Amazon. Congratulations to her. I saw neutral Ellen's show. I saw a clip of Nicki Minaj talking about how, and I kind of like, I felt what she was saying. She was saying that something to the effect of like, when you are chasing your dreams, make sure you are in the moment. Like, so basically, I don't know. She said it. I think what she was trying to say was, is like, for instance, like I'm doing this YouTube channel, right? But in my head, I want something more. I want more out of YouTube, right? So in the moment, I'm doing this YouTube channel, but in my head, my mind is elsewhere. It's further. Like it's like, what's my next thing? Why I'm not up there, right? So she basically was saying, make sure you enjoy the moment, not only while you're present in that moment, but also mentally. Like make sure you enjoy like every part of the journey. And I resonated when she said that, when I saw that video, because she's right. Like so many people, they hustle, 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 and it's probably, probably years go by, and you're like, well, why this hasn't worked for me, or why this hasn't, why I'm not achieving more. And so adding on to that, that also goes back to gratitude, right? Because, when you're in a moment doing what you're doing, you also got to be grateful for doing what you're doing and grateful for the success you had, no matter how big the success is. Like, so as you are gracefully saying, hey, I'm grateful that I have X amount of subscribers on YouTube, and I'm grateful for that I have X amount of loyal watchers and viewers and people that support the channel, people that give me super chats. When you are grateful and you are mentally in that moment as well, that's when good things start to happen, and that's when more things come to you, right? Just on a spiritual level. So, because me personally, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of someone that says, why I keep hearing no's, why I keep getting denied, why I have to do so much work in order for me to land a job that I want. Why is this? Why that? And it's like, it's like you always want more and you're always critical of yourself. But like, you got to enjoy. You got to enjoy the journey, whether it takes how many years it takes. We just got to enjoy it, and I got to take that advice because I'm guilty of doing that, right? On a daily basis, actually. I'm guilty of doing it on a daily basis. All right, so y'all, this was one of the longest shows I did. I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. If anybody else want to come on and make commentary, you can come on. The link is pinned. Film says it was reported Jennifer Hudson did her test run on the Ellen studio. Yes, Hudson tested in the Ellen studio. They want the American Idol stars to compete with each other. I don't know if they want them to compete with each other. I think a lot of these shows, not shows, I think a lot of these production companies that produce these shows, they're out of creative ideas, that they don't like to invent new things. So when they see one thing working, they want to emulate that with a different person. And that's what they're doing, and it doesn't work all the time. Like I just talked about this earlier, just because someone has billions of followers and stuff, that doesn't mean that's going to translate into ratings, because it doesn't. It's proof it doesn't, right? It's proof. Just because you have millions of followers on Instagram and you have a talk show doesn't mean you're going to get picked up. Kris Jenner, she has millions of followers, and her daughters has millions of followers, and Kris Jenner even had Kanye West on her show, but her show didn't get picked up. So it's like it doesn't translate all the time. It doesn't, So we're gonna see. We're going to see. A lot of singers getting talk shows. Yeah, so I need a talk show. I sing. Yeah, she was the best because her show was different. She created her own type of show. It was different. She found her own way. And yeah, man, I wish she comes back in a different way. I wish she does another TV show with a different company, because I don't think, she's going to go back to Denmark Mercury, but I wish she comes back on TV. I don't see her coming back on TV, though. I don't, unfortunately. So anyways, y'all, that's pretty much, that's everything. Anybody else want to comment? Say something. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Anybody wanna come on and give me commentary about the stuff I talked about? Donna, you still in here? You would be good TV. I like your voice. I appreciate that, but it takes more than having a voice, right, to be on TV. But I appreciate it. I'm always giving myself the low end of the stick. JOA, Rhonda and Wendy doing podcasts. What does that mean? Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, something's gonna happen in the future for me, I believe. Catherine, are you still on here? Because you didn't send me that message that you said you were gonna send me. I don't see it. Are you playing me? You can talk without dead air. I appreciate that. But yeah, Catherine, I don't know if Catherine's still on here. You're supposed to send me that message. You said you sent me something. Catherine, The View. Okay, I got a comment. Okay. The View is inviting Stephanie Grisham for a 4th day on her first try. Okay. Thank you, Kyle, for that memory I needed, because there's someone that used to work for the Trump administration, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff. She spoke on Twitter and she's saying Stephanie is not being honest about her experience with The View. She's not being honest about her experience with working for Trump, you know, as she was talking about on The View. And I'm here for this gossip, you know. Aren't y'all here for it? I don't know why other people ain't talking about it. But let's go on Twitter, and so I can read what Miss Stephanie is saying. Now, Stephanie actually used to be best friends with Melania Trump. That's the woman that wrote a book and recorded Melania Trump without her knowing. Wait, hold on. I don't want to get the names mixed up. Okay. I believe both their names. Okay, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, right? That's the woman that's friends. They got 2 Stephanies here, y'all, that both work in the Trump realm. Okay, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff was the woman that's good friends with Melania that recorded Melania Trump's conversations, you know, for leverage and for protection and everything, because according to her, I didn't read her book, but according to her, Melania Trump betrayed her, right? Now, Stephanie Grisham is the woman that's on The View now, right? That's saying that she made a mistake with working for Trump, and also stated that she tried to resign a few times, but Melania told her, no, baby, don't resign. All right. So, and, you know, Miss Stephanie Grisham is ignoring Miss Stephanie Winston Wolkoff. I'm going to call them Grisham and Wolkoff because I'm tired of saying their names and they're both the same. Wolkoff is telling Miss Grisham that, hey, you got to be honest. You're not being honest. And Miss Grisham only got 6,000 followers on Twitter. So I know she see Stephanie Winston Wolkoff tweets on Twitter, all right? So I'm curious to see what else she's not saying, according to Melania Trump's former friend. Let me go on The View's Twitter page. So that's where I saw the comments about her. Let's see. I mean, she's all right. I think she's like an opportunist. I get a little opportunist vibes from her. You know, that she's just doing it. I think she wants the job so bad, y'all. Like, she wants that seat. And The View, like I said, they're smart behind the scenes, and Trump is still relevant, apparently, you know, so they need her, right? And she knows a lot of information. She gave more information than Alyssa Farah did, right? The other girl that used to work for Trump that's half Ukrainian and Syrian, apparently. Let's see. I'm trying to look for the tweets on Twitter, because apparently Miss Grisham is not being forthcoming and honest like Miss Winston Wolkoff is saying, right? I'm trying to look about it. What did y'all think about Governor DeSantis' Don't Say Gay bill? Like, it's very that bill is very it's not clear, and I think it was very obvious for it not to be clear for just for apparent reasons, so they can feel like they can like enforce this rule not only from being an adolescent to like 3rd grade, because they really don't tell you how long that rule is going to be. It kind of reminds me about the whole critical race theory thought. You know, it's a controversial topic, because a lot of people who have troubled households, you know, a lot of people, you know, they lean on teachers, right? I'm sure like everyone in this comic can name at least one teacher that you love, that you felt like you could be on a personal level with. And so there may be someone that is struggling with their sexuality, and, you know, it's from a religious household, or maybe it's not accepted, or, you know, you can be disowned, and they just need somebody to talk about that. And so it's like, dude, there's more things in this world to be doing bills on, right, than focusing on somebody's sexuality in kindergarten or third grade. That's just like, dude, like, that's crazy, you know, to like preach on little kids like that. Come on now. Like, do better. You know, kids already got to go through so much already, going to school, leaving their mom, going to school, like being in a new environment, trying to make friends. I'm trying to start their social skills, their learning skills. And it's like, you make up this stupid bill that got passed apparently, and that is on your table for you to sign. Like, come on, dude. Like, I don't like, you know, I don't get me wrong, y'all. I love me some Florida. That's because that's my home state, you know, but it's like, I don't know. It kind of like reminds you of like, why are you going to do a bill? Like, if you don't even relate to people like that, you're trying to enforce or say something that enforces something on people you have nothing to know about, then like, it's like, dude, it's a waste of time, you know? I'm trying to find the comments that Stephanie made on, but I can't find it. Okay, here it is. I found one. And I remember this woman that was on ABC when she wrote the book. Okay, so apparently Stephanie Winston Wolkoff wrote in her book about, it says, Listen to Melania and Me. That's her book. Talk about Stephanie Grisham. She was Melania's perfect henchman. Our democracy and freedom are hanging on by a thread. Tell the truth and try and help others or get lost. So she's calling her a liar. You know, she's saying she's not telling the truth. And apparently, and y'all do remember that her child, Stephanie Grisham, her child, according to Stephanie on The View, she said her child did not want to tell his friends where her mother worked. So I'm about to play y'all the clip. I didn't know it's a clip because Wolkoff apparently sent numerous tweets to The View about her. And I'm just seeing this little clip that she posted yesterday at 4:53 p.m. my time on her iPhone. So if y'all want to hear the clip, I'm gonna show y'all the clip. All right, we going. So thank you, Kyle, for reminding me about that, because that's the one thing I wanted to talk about. Super chats are appreciated. So this is the little clip right here. I'm gonna play for y'all. I'm gonna play it. I'm going to play. All right, so I want to make sure y'all can hear it. 1 second. Let me do this again. I need a producer, y'all, so I don't have to do all of this. All right, let's see. Oh, Lord, she's spilling information. All right. Let me up this volume so y'all can hear. All right, here it goes.
They don't like Stephanie Grisham. So you know the word out there. It's nothing to do with me and how I feel about her. They won't work with her because she won't work with them. The last thing you want, you can feel the way you want to feel.
Because they're asking.
But she doesn't have the right to answer them in such a negative, nasty tone. She's not allowed to do that. Why would she do that? Why would the First Lady's office take a tone, just do it in a nice way? It would have kept you safe. That's what we kept doing, right? It's like, keep you away from all the drama. Like, it's unfortunate because we were creating something. There was a process, and now it's just a banter of negativity. If you don't want to talk about your personal life, you don't have to. You don't want to. Stephanie doesn't have to. But it's never your voice. They said that was the first thing I've been telling you. They're like, the First Lady has no voice. Stephanie took away her voice, and it's a bad voice. It's so nasty. And they're like, look, of course we're going to keep asking your questions, but we know we're not going to answer.
The problem is the way what they want, and I'm not. You know me. I'm not. I don't care. I don't give the interviews. I'm not like, I said, if they're interested, send the emails, right? I'm not giving the interviews because I know exactly what they want.
So this is Melania's former friend and Melania speaking on the phone. And so Stephanie wrote, listen to Melania and me talk about Stephanie Grisham. She was Melania's perfect henchman. Our democracy and freedom are hanging on by a thread. Tell the truth and try to help others or get lost. And she tagged Stephanie Grisham, and she only has 6,000 800, and she only has 6,868 followers, and she tagged The View, Whoopi, and Joy Behar. So, y'all, like, you know, I don't know who to believe, because it's like, you were her former friend. I do remember Stephanie being on The View and Meghan McCain, Stephanie Winston Wilcott being on The View, and Meghan McCain gave her like the business, because she wrote a book about, you know, the Trump family. And so I'm not really sure who to believe. I don't know. You know, but what comes, anything that's in the dark comes to light all the time. So rumor Wendy is doing a podcast show. I already said that she could do a show with Sirius XM or with Spotify. I'm sure that any show would love to have her. You know, she has a following, you know, and look, Spotify probably could use her with all the conflict they've been through with Joe Rogan and stuff. So The Real getting canceled is sad. No, not really. You know, I don't really watch it. I mean, every now and then, like the other day, I was watching it on YouTube and stuff, but I don't watch it as consistently like I used to. I used to watch it consistently when Tamar Braxton was on, but you know, that show went downhill after she was gone. Do you think actress Amber H should be replaced on I don't watch. I mean, I don't know Aquaman 2. I didn't even watch the first one, so I don't know who that is. I'm here for a breakthrough. Usually means you have gotten backs. Do you think there's going to cancel The Real? What do you mean? What are you talking about? They're already, I mean, that's according to the blogs, they're getting canceled. And a lot of people on Twitter posted, you know how when a show gets canceled or a show is in the media for bad reasons, and then people on Twitter or whatever, they may post clips that sort of is coincidental to the reasoning as to why The Real, for example, is getting canceled. So meaning that I now watched this clip. Basically, like about a week ago, Lonnie Love was talking about how she respects Black people and Black women. And people often think that if she gets bullied on Twitter, or if someone like a celebrity calls her bad names, that she's going to harp back at them. So a lot of people basically put that comment that she made on The Real like a few days ago to what the news was today about The Real getting canceled. And Adrian Ballon Adrian Halton was also saying that she doesn't care about the business, like she doesn't care about the entertainment business. A lot of people think that she cares about it and she doesn't have a life, and that she'll be okay basically if she does not work or she doesn't have work, like she's fine with it, right? And of course, girl, of course you would be fine. You got a man that's rich, but I would give her credit because I do recall several years ago, that she said she was rich, broke again, or rich and poor again, and she would be all right with that because she's used to that. So do you use apple cider vinegar on salad? No, I don't use apple cider vinegar anymore. But yeah, so I think, yeah, that show is done deal. It lasted too long, in my opinion. I think it's going to get canceled. The Jasmine brand is reporting it. A lot of blogs, a lot of people reported it. Billboard, I think, also did a story on it. It's like, yeah, that show is done. You know, they all got jobs in one way or the other. Jeannie's married to Jeezy. Jeannie does her YouTube. She's with Kin, the company KIN that produces her YouTube channel. She's a smart woman. I think Jeannie Mai should have her own talk show. Jeannie Mai was the underdog of that show. I feel like every single one of those women disrespected her or shaded her in a way that to me was not cool. From, you know, even with Tamara Mowry or with, you know, I felt like people did not like Jeannie Mai for some reason. Like she was always the underdog and she was the least known, the least famous on that show. But now look at her. She has a baby. You know, she has a husband and they're apparently getting along and they're in love. And like, so, and she blossomed into being the star of that show, right? So I always felt like they shaded her, like all of them, not just Tamar, but all of them. Like all of them gave her a hard time. And she took it like a champ and was professional and classy about it. And I like her. I probably like her. Yeah. I like all of them individually, but Jeannie Mai is on the top tier of who I like because I do remember her crying on that show, like crying, and they deleted that clip, and she was crying and said she don't relate to anybody on the job, and they put her on the spot. They're like, you know, we want you to be personal with us. We don't want you to feel like we're only at work and we're just coworkers. We want that personal feeling and that personal friendship. And Jeannie was like, well, I don't feel like I'm not relatable. Whoever came in the queue, you can come back. and make a commentary. I'm sorry if you want to come back. I had somebody in the queue, but they left. Jeannie Mai basically said that she doesn't feel relatable, and she said Lonnie Love is a comedian, Adrian Bolon, you're just cool. Tamar Braxton and Tamara Mowry, they had that connection with being moms, and she's just there. And I was like, I find you relatable on that show because you're Asian. Like, you got to take your shoes off when you get to the damn house. You can't walk in the house with your shoes. That's in my culture as well. I'm like her in a way where I don't believe in making friends at work. I believe in just doing the work and leaving. And she's a hustler. She didn't go to college and all like that. I found her to be relatable to me. I relate to all of them in a way. Tamar Braxton, the singing, the Black culture. Tamara Mowry, growing up in a sheltered household. I grew up in a sheltered household. Lonnie Love, the comedian. I could be funny sometimes. I like to eat. So that's my relation with her as well. Trying to be in a career and hustling and making it out there. That's a relation to me with her as well. Adrian Balone, grew up watching her on Disney Channel, the whole singing stuff, being an actress and trying to hustle in his career, trying to be self-made, not having access to people that can to help your career. And who else am I missing, y'all? Y'all help me out. Am I missing anybody else? That's all of them. Tamar, Jeannie Mai, Lonnie Love, Adrian Balone. Yeah, that's all of them. So I related to all of them, but I felt bad when she was crying. I was like, come on now, come on, yeah. And YouTube, you can make a good coin off of YouTube. Trust me. So she's good, and her man got money. Her man produces. He makes good money. He produces with a lot of people. In the business, I know a lot of the, some of the Black community does not like Jeannie Mai because of the comment she made on the show saying that she liked her white meat at lean and mean and her Black meat on the side or something to that effect, she said, and people looked at her crazy and stuff like that. They feel like she got a fetish and stuff. So it's like, some Black people did. I literally had a customer when I was working as a car wash. She was like, I hate that girl. I don't like her. That Asian chick, I hate her. Black dude, yeah. So a lot of people don't, but yeah, not a lot of people gonna like you. So she should get her own show. I remember when Wendy even advocated, she's like, Jeannie, if you get your own opportunity to have your own show, you better leave The Real. Wendy even saw talent in her. Again, I love her stories. I love her stories. Till this day, I try to find a story that she had. I believe she was dating somebody in the industry, and she was about to get an opportunity to host a show. And apparently the person she was dating that was in the industry told the president of the network that Jeannie Mai should not be picked for this job because she wants attention and she talks too much. Y'all remember that? I tried to find that clip on YouTube, but I forgot the title of that video, so I can't find it. Y'all know the clip I'm talking about? Apparently before she met Freddie, her first husband, she was dating a guy who worked in the industry. And that person called the president of the network and told the president that she should not get this job as a talk show host because she talks so much and she wants attention. Y'all remember when she talked about that story? I've been trying to find that clip on the show because that's one of the stories I like that she spoke about. But I have somebody in the queue. Oh, look, she getting ready. She fixing her hair. Hey, my friend. First time, Ebony Dix. How are you?
Good. How are you? I just wanted to say that I can see why Nick Cannon got canceled because he's not bubblegum material. And also The Real is not bubblegum either. Look how long Kelly Clarkson, her show is still going because she's bubblegum. And that's why I think that one of the reasons why Nick Cannon is getting canceled because he's not bubblegum at all. He's just not something that, he's not palatable. And this whole race thing, I'm glad it constantly comes up because people want to take race out of they want to take slavery out of our history. And I just want to say thank you for, I think on your last several shows or even on you've been posting throughout the month of February.
Black History Month.
It's amazing. So, and I don't like that people want to take history away, because we have to learn from that. And if you don't learn from this is what we get all these backlashes from people. But that's why I think Nick Cannon is just not bubblegum material, and that's why he got canceled.
When you say bubblegum, you mean polish? You mean E-News? What you mean by bubblegum? What you talking about?
I mean think 1955. You know, they want like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood type of person.
How old are you? I wasn't born in 1955. You go into my parents' age. I mean, my parents.
I just think about like the time period of like, you know, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood type of kind of guy. You know, he's not putting on a sweater. He's definitely out there. He's flashy. He's not a person. He doesn't look like a Jerry O'Connell. Like, is that his name? He doesn't look
Jerry,
like he could have made it with he could have made it, and I think he did really well with when he was guest starring on the Wendy Williams show. But yeah, I just think that he's just not something that's palatable for daytime TV. They wanted to seem like, you know, he's the he's the Wayne Brady. If you know what Wayne Brady, Brady.
I know who Wayne Brady is.
Yeah, everyone knows who Wayne Brady is. Like, you know, he's the black white guy. So that's what they really wanted. Yeah. It's not he. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, well, he had a show on like Nickelodeon, a talk show back in the day that didn't last. I mean, it lasted, but not too long. I don't think.
But he's an adult now. He's different. All these life experiences have changed him to be a different type of person.
I didn't watch that show though. I never watched it, but I know he was like the co-chair or something of Nickelodeon. Like he had a big job in Nickelodeon. But I know he had a talk show back in the day, but I didn't watch it. I don't know. I think go ahead.
History. He has a lot. He has a background. A lot of background in, you know, television. He did. Remember that? I don't know if anyone remembers.
He's Got Talent.
He did Real Housewives of Beverly Hollywood. Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Oh, he did. He was on that show with Kevin Hart and other people. Okay, yeah.
He was funny. They made fun of him because they were saying that the reason why he's broke. They were saying he was broke because he wasn't married to Mariah Carey. Then he was pulling all these paychecks that he got from different.
Oh no, he got money. He'll be all right. He got money. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think Kelly. I think Kelly should be canceled too because I think she's.
She's bubblegum. No, I think she's relatable because of the weight thing. And I was saying she looks like the average chick you see at the mall, and people can relate to that. You know, she don't look like an angel. Like I'm not saying, you know, she's a beautiful woman, but she's relatable, like to a human being. You know, that's how I see it. You don't see it that way?
I don't watch her because
I don't watch her show like that, but I mean, I saw her interviews and stuff and the singing, and you know, you don't have a show where you have a host that sings really well.
Yeah.
That's relatable. The way, I think she kind of brings that little bit of Ricky Lake sort of thing, you know, in a way with the weight stuff. But yeah, I don't watch. I mean, I tried Nick Cannon on the first day. I knew that show wasn't gonna last. I'm sorry. I tried. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I tried, dude. I was like, man, this ain't for me.
He's not at Arsenio Hall. Remember Arsenio? I know you know Arsenio Hall. He's not Arsenio Hall.
He's actually the first. Well, he's painted as the first African American talk show host. You know,
Arsenio Hall.
Yeah. Like literally, when you type that on Google, his picture comes up. You know.
I mean, he was great. I mean, he's great. So
I really didn't watch the show that much either, but I saw interviews on the show. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, it takes a lot for me to be interested in the show. But you said they're bubblegum. So you're saying Kelly's lasting because she's a white woman, or because she's
bubble? Like again, she's got a, like you said, she's relatable to.
She's relatable.
Yeah, to that.
I don't know what her demographics are. I don't know, but it's probably. I'm sure she's related to Caucasians for sure. But
yeah, I just don't think that Nick Cannon is relatable to. I don't know. There's not a lot of, I guess, African American men watching television during the daytime. I just don't think he was palatable. You know, they wanted him to probably come out with, like, again, a sweater, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. They wanted him to come out like Sesame Street type of kind of guy, and he's flashy. He's making fun of his personal life. A baby mama. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
They should put him up there. They should put 8. Come on.
He did that. He would have got good ratings if he did that. Yeah. But that's what he did for ratings, man. Like, I don't know if you remember that report that came out the first week. He only got 400,000 viewers. A lot of people didn't even know about his show.
Another thing I just want to say, that I think they're always trying to cancel Whoopi. I'm so tired of them trying to cancel Whoopi for something. They're always trying to cancel her. She adds controversy to that show, and they're going to keep her up there. They're going to prop her up. I'm shocked that Joy Behar, they're going to prop her Whoopi up there because she adds controversy, just as Meghan McCain added controversy. But Meghan McCain, she was so hot-headed, she didn't even know. She thought everything was about her. They're always trying to cancel Whoopi.
Someone is asking a question. They said, when you say bubblegum, do you mean simple and childish? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Simple, childish.
He's a little corny, and a lot of women felt that he was corny. But then, like people that were like, "Well, why would Mariah get with that?" But then when they were around him, they saw the swag, and They're like, okay, now I'm attracted. I see why, Mariah fell for him and stuff like that. So a lot of people see him as being corny. Like Ray J. Ray J's corny.
Not simple as dumb. I'm sorry. Not simple as dumb. Yeah. I mean simple as in like very, clean cut,
I got you.
A Gary O'Connell kind of thing,
like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, those types.
Yeah, very cute, very easygoing. Hey, jokester, and they forgot he had 8 baby moms. He's talking about a lot of things. I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of brings me back to what Wendy Williams' ex-husband wrote in his lawsuit that the company, because he's with the same company that Wendy was with, them marketing, and Kevin Hunter, he stated something to the effect of that company did not know how to promote to the right target market, meaning to like Black people and to the culture and stuff like that. So maybe he just didn't have the right marketing person as well, like that's Black. Maybe he didn't have Jamal, like Jamal wasn't, the person that was in charge of, getting Black people and people of color to know about his talk show, right? Because you go on the Shade Room, a lot of people are saying, I didn't even know he had a talk show. And some people are saying, I'm glad that shit got canceled, or I saw it was going to be canceled.
Yeah.
Well, I think he got scared though. I think he changed because once he made those because you start Wendy and you do your commentary, right? And then they're like, all right, we can see you having a talk show. And then it's like you do your podcast, you get backlash. And now you don't want to do hot topics because you're scared of a backlash and not going to the parties and everything. So now you got
a lot of people are scared of backlash, especially when it comes to race. They're scared of that, they can't be educated, and you can. It's important to understand. You could be
but it's like I felt like by him, because like you're going on Wendy, you got to talk about topics, right? And people loved it, right? And so I was assuming that his talk show was going to be like that, but I think he kind of retracted that when he got that backlash when he talked about race. You see what I mean? I think his show was about to be, maybe in that format of talking about hot topics, but he still did it though in a way. But it was very Jimmy Kimmel, like he had Angela Yee on several times, and she did a rumor report with him. Like, when you bring Angela Yee on TV, something wrong with your show. I mean, I like her, but she's on TV.
You are desperate when you bring her on the show.
Yeah, like something is wrong. Like she's on radio. I mean, I'm not saying she doesn't look good on TV. I just don't think she's for TV. Like he just. I don't like. It's like what's she on TV for? Like for what? Like something is wrong. Like The Real brought her on when I was like, okay, something must be wrong. They brought her on. So I was like, yeah. Now I like when Lunel was on because I love Lunel. I don't know if you know who that is. Lunel, the comedian.
Yeah, she's on DJ Vlad a lot too. She has
but a lot of people was like
interviews.
She should be on nighttime. Like he should have had a nighttime show instead of a daytime show. Because you said bubblegum and that's for like daytime.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, people want clean. They still want that clean, like they want clean and easygoing. But I don't want to stay up here. Larger Curves was on earlier. That you call her larger Curves. I love her.
Oh, is she a YouTuber? How do you know her?
She is a YouTuber. She also she does a lot. She sits in a lot of the Housewives of everything because that's
how many followers she have on YouTube.
I don't know. I don't follow.
I didn't even know she was a YouTuber.
Not like
I didn't know.
Not like that. I just don't follow her YouTube. But I have too much stuff to follow on YouTube right now.
She's everywhere. She said she saw me in the comments because I was watching Ebony K. Williams being interviewed by someone. She's like, "Yeah, I saw you in the comments." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I had to give it. I used to just look at you, and I was like, "Forget. I gotta subscribe. I can't keep trying to figure out where you're at. I gotta subscribe." Forget it.
Some people watching they don't subscribe. I said that the other day.
I like that you comment on the View a lot. I really do like that you get. Yeah, I really like your opinions when it comes to the political world. That's what I like to dabble into. So I just have too much to watch, but I do watch Larger Curves on. She does Housewives. She's a commentator.
Oh, okay. So what video did you saw like for you to be known about my channel? Like what
your channel? Oh, when you roasted on Meghan McCain, you really
everybody
do not
say
like
that.
her. Yeah, I appreciated that. You really
said,
like.
I appreciate it.
You like
I
Meghan.
her
It's
Instagram
not about
live. I was like, damn, I should have screenshotted her whole video. I mean, I should have screen recorded, but she was like, everybody calls my dad a warmonger, but we need to go to war with Russia. This is why we have war.
Yeah, and then you had so much trouble with your neighbors. That's when it was like, because you were like having so much trouble with your neighbors. You're like, and this guy, and you had like footage, and it was like,
Oh, you saw the footage of the old man?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a long time ago. You've been here for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. He's
time.
still, I don't talk to that man yet. So, and he's the same landlord as I do. Yeah, but yeah, you subscribe to my second channel. I haven't posted a video on there about a month. I do got a second channel. A lot of people don't know about that.
I have a question, because since your background is Palestinian, what do you think about the Vogue trying to hide the Palestinian comment from Gigi Hadid? You know, she's Palestinian as well.
They deleted her comment, huh? They deleted it, or I heard something. Yeah, her father is Palestinian. I don't know. I gotta look into that, but I'm not surprised, man. And each time I hear about Ukraine, or like when I was watching about The View, and they're like, we should do something about what's going on in Ukraine. I mean, like I said, I'm remorseful and I wish them well and everything, but it's kind of like, I don't believe in the remorse if it's only selective. You see what I mean? Because there's people.
Were you saying that Vogue was remorse? Because you're not saying
like when The View also was talking about it. Because you gotta understand, The View's corporate as well. You gotta understand, like, The View talked about Ilhan Omar so many times, at least 2-3 times a month, at least during the Trump administration. They still talk about her. She's yet to be on that show, you know. And I am coming to think because she's Muslim. That's why she hasn't been on that show, you know. Same thing with Rashida Tlaib, Palestinian Muslim.
She should be on the show.
Trevor Noah had her on. Yeah, but I'm just like, I think because she's Muslim, that's why, you know, she's not on that show. Even when they were talking about the Women's March, Linda Sarsour is in New York and she's Palestinian. She was the co-founder of that march. They only brought Tamika Mallory and that Jewish lady on. They didn't bring, you know, Linda Sarsour on, you know. So you see, you know, unfortunately, it's just like that. It's like that. So
it's like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like that. Yeah, that's why I don't buy the whole people of color, diversity stuff when they do with these talk shows, because it's like, it's only for business and money. That's it. They really don't care about that, you know. So it's performative, as we say. Yeah.
All right, keep up the great work. I'm gonna get going.
She's like, I'm getting off. You talking too much.
I don't like staying on too long. I was gonna come in a couple things and I'm gonna knock. Have a great one. Enjoy your show.
Thank you so much. Send me a super chat if you got some money on your. All right, y'all. Anybody else want to come on? You see how easy it is? If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. Is it possible that the View producers want to replace Whoopi? No, she already inked a like what? How long? A 3-year deal with the View, like Sheryl did with the Talk. Like, no. You know, I do feel like they need somebody younger on that show. Like, they want to hire a younger person for that vacated seat. Because sometimes they talk about topics that they're too old to understand. Like, you know, like with social media, with YouTube, and how people don't want to. They talked about this the other time, and I want to do a video on it. Like when Sunny Hudson was like, everybody nowadays, you know, they don't want to, you know, they want to be in this business, and they think they could be YouTubers and start that way. Like, it's so easy. Like, if people want to go to YouTube route, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Like, there's a statistic out there that says only like literally people like a lot of people quit. Like 90% of people quit. There's only a small minimum stat of people that get 10,000 subscribers. It's hard to get 10,000 subscribers, and that is small, but it's hard. It's hard to get 30,000. That's small too. 40, 50, and that's small, you know. But if everybody wanted to be in the business and talk about politics, pop culture, whatever, everybody would be doing it. So it's not fair for her to say that, oh, people just want to be YouTubers. You know, they don't want to travel and move to you know, to get experience and hone their craft. Like, no, it's not like that. You know, it's not. You can't just generalize people. Now, I do hear and see that a lot of people who are in elementary, middle school, high schoolers, a lot of them, they're like, I want to be a YouTube star. I want to be a YouTuber. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. And I had a comment of somebody saying, I think you need to come to school and talk to my students, because a lot of them keep saying they want to be a YouTube star, and you are here acknowledging that it's not, it's hard work and it's not that easy, right? So, I just didn't like that comment she made on the show the other day. You know, she was like, Sunny was like, everything is like handed easily through social media and stuff. It's not. It's hard. It's still hard work. It's definitely hard. People gotta like you. You gotta, you know, you gotta have some type of personality. You know, you gotta have some type of way of how you do the show, your editing, whatever. Like, you know, it's not that easy. It's not. You know. Her show, like that's saying they called Ross Matthews to host a show sometimes. They had Michelle Turner on that show too. It's like Sherri Shepherd was supposed to get that show. I heard someone she said that on her podcast, but CBS went with Drew Barrymore instead. So yes, she signed a deal. Exactly. She signed a deal. I like hearing from people that watch me. I appreciate y'all. I like when y'all come on. I like that. I would appreciate that. Why are they to cancel Nick Cannon? Yeah, it's just his show wasn't it. That's why. Like, it was very, like, the girl, I agree with her when she said it was bubblegum. It was very polished. It was like, we already have the Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon people. Jimmy Fallon is very awkward, by the way, when he interviews people. So we already have a Seth Meyers and a Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. So Wendy shouldn't go back. I don't think she's going to go back, but I think she's going to come back in a different way. Okay, those are rumors, but we haven't really heard a confirmation about that. And so, you know, she still got to go through her bank stuff and then her husband stuff and, you know, the lawsuit and everything. So, Sarah is, yeah, she's young, but she agreed with Sonny when she said, shit, Sarah's about to be 40. 40 is young. 50 is young too, but it's like YouTube was created in 2004. So you need somebody at least in their late 20s, maybe early 30s. You know, like they need that millennial kind of thing, like the Meghan McCain type of age at least, because she knows YouTube, Meghan McCain, to explain that, right? Because they don't understand, they don't get it. You know, it's kind of like how Whoopi doesn't like AOC because they're this new progressive movement, and Whoopi explained publicly that she feels left out, right? Because she's like, I feel left out. I've been vouching for what they believe in. And here comes these young folks coming out and being popular. Y'all remember when AOC was on and Whoopi said that. So it's like, they need somebody in their 30s. You know, I think they're trying to find somebody young. I don't know why they're bringing on this chick the fourth time, Stephanie Grisham. Is this her fourth time on the show? She was on for 3 days, right? As far as I know, you know, so maybe they're trying to consider her. I don't know, but you can tell she wants the job. She is a Republican, so, you know, but yeah. Anyways, y'all, if anybody else want to come on, I like talking to y'all. You know, it's nice to even see old faces and new faces as well. Like, I didn't know who the last person was. I just, you know, y'all know me from watching me, but I don't know y'all. I just see comments. That's it. So, if anybody want to come on? Now The Real is getting canceled. Yeah, I predicted that a year ago that, you know, that show is going to get canceled. I have that video up. People were commenting on that today. They were like, really? Like, you predicted this, you know? But yeah, apparently they're going bye-bye, you know? I don't know if Catherine is still on here, but Catherine, you're not on. You didn't send me my message, Catherine. What state is AOC governor of? New York. Well, she's not a governor. She's a congresswoman. All right, y'all. I enjoy this live. Since nobody else want to come on, which co-host from the talk do you think will be the most successful? Sheryl Underwood. I mean, she inked a deal with them. Hopefully that deal works out. But yeah, I think Natalie Morales is the most successful because, you know, NBC, she's with NBC for a lot of years and they pay good money for journalists, you know. So, I mean, money is success to a lot of people, right? So sad for the shows. Well, everything comes to an end, right? I'm only upset about Wendy. I don't care about The Real being canceled. Ever since they did what they did to Tamar, I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Who from The Real would be the most successful? Jeannie Mai. I think Jeannie Mai. Meghan has a bad personality. Yeah, you know. I mean, it's one thing to talk about politics and stuff and get mad about that. But I mean, if you take that and start calling people off the air, treat producers allegedly like they're your servants and just be mean to people, then it's like, yeah, you know, I mean, you know, that's what happens when you're spoiled, you know. So, but yeah, but they just need somebody young on that show. I mean, I'm okay with whoever they bring on. I don't really care anymore. I used to care, but it's just like, you know, I enjoy it regardless. Because I like the host on there, but I just like to hear a different perspective because it's good for content. And I just like to hear what people are saying. Meghan is too emotional. Yeah, she's too emotional. She's neurotic, like Sharon Osbourne is. You should be a comedian because you said I don't care about The Did you laugh about me saying that? I didn't even think about it that way. No pun intended. I care about The Real, but I don't care about that show because The Real is the opposite of what they are, you know. So, but yeah, I want to do stand up for sure. I actually called a place last year. I was like, I know y'all do comic nights and open mic nights, and they're like, no, we're closed. We don't do that for COVID. He had a whole attitude and everything on the phone, right? So that's definitely on my bucket list. I don't care if people don't laugh. That's not my objective. My objective of doing that is to say, hey, I did it. I ain't care about if people don't laugh, but I'm sure I can make people laugh. But I definitely want to do that. I definitely do. People gonna laugh. Trust me, they gonna laugh. You know, I was at the store the other day, looking at phones, and I was making the guy that's helping me laugh. We were just talking about random stuff, and he was like, I told him I kind of want to be a comedian. He was like, you should explore it. You're making me laugh. So yeah, that's what I want to do. I mean, I kind of want to do that. I want to do the comedic stuff. So, but yeah, they should invite Stephanie Winston Wilcoff on again while Stephanie Grisham is on. That would be a high rating show, you know. But yeah, you know, it's I wish talk shows give opportunities to people who aren't known. Like, you know, kind of bring back the whole Ricky Lake-esque, like take a chance on somebody like they did with Oprah, Ricky Lake, bring somebody up and have them be like the love of America or just like, you know, popular, and like they need to bring that back where they just give people who aren't known a chance versus giving people a following a chance, right? Don't y'all agree with that? Like bring back that, you know, just how you did it back in the day. It doesn't, just because someone has X amount of followers does not mean that they're going to do well and it's going to translate well with a talk show. You be good at stand-up. You'll have this, oh, I appreciate that. Wendy has money and, you know, talented, so I appreciate that. Sherri, slapstick, I love Lucy type, white, friendly. There's a place for her, but the time to nurture is too late. If she has competition, she has Jennifer Hudson as a competition, so I don't know. We're gonna see. I don't know if their shows are at different. I think their shows are at different times though. I think they're different times with shows. Would you? Why you always ask that question? I just admire the woman because I admire her hustle, and I admire that she's self-made and she speaks her mind. I can show y'all a clip that makes me respect her. Like it's called y'all interested in seeing it? I don't want to get copyrighted. But I guess I can play it and talk. I put a story on my YouTube channel. I watched this years ago, like literally when it first came out. Like Jerry Springer did one, David Muir did one, Wendy Williams did one. So many people did one where they talked about their first big break. And Wendy's, of course, is my favorite. So I'm going to show y'all the clips of it. I even met a journalist when I went to an event in like 2017 that interviewed Wendy. Her name is Michelle Miller. It's like one of the highest views interview that she did with Wendy Williams, or one of Wendy Williams' highest interviews on YouTube. It's still up on YouTube. Just look up Wendy Williams CBS, and that woman is interviewing Wendy. And I met her in 2017, you know, at a networking event. And I was like, hey, I loved your interview with Wendy. She works at CBS This Morning, you know, with the Gayle Kings and used to be Charlie Rose. And y'all know that show that comes on CBS This Morning and stuff. But yeah, y'all want me to show you that clip? Because I just like her drive. That's why I like her. I like her drive, and her style is my style. I like people that are unapologetically them. I don't like people that changes themselves for the industry. She doesn't have 70,000. Who has 70,000 subs? 2 years on YouTube. She can carry the numbers. Who doesn't have 7? Who are you talking about, Adriana? Y'all want to see that clip? I'm gonna show y'all parts of it. I don't want them to copyright me. That's why I don't want to play it. But I'm gonna show y'all. Okay, it's called Wendy Williams, My First Big Break. This is the clip right here. I'm going to pause it and do commentary.
So I had no friends by design. I had no sex by design because I couldn't afford to slip up and get pregnant. The best thing to do was to keep my behind celibate, and I was not happy on the island. Most of my friends thought that I was having the time of my life, when in actuality I was miserable and crying every day. But in 8 months, I was off that island.
So after she graduated college, she went to the Virgin Islands to pursue her first radio gig after college, because she was working in radio while she was in college. So this was like on the Virgin Islands, right? Like out of nowhere, outside the country, right? And that's what she's talking about. Is she gets into how she transitioned to that, to working in Washington, D.C., to going to New York, working at midnight, and watching this video when it first came out. I don't know. I just like her hustle and her drive. I agree, Films. Not everyone has charisma, star power, and big relay. I agree. I don't see that in Jennifer Hudson. That's why I feel like I'm not feeling it, but I'm gonna give her a chance. See, look. Okay, so here she goes.
My first big break. Well, I've had a few of them, but I feel as though none of them would have happened without the very first one. And the very first one was a radio job that I got myself. I found it in the back of a radio magazine at the Northeastern University Library, which is where I graduated from college. While everybody else is in there studying, I was in there looking for jobs, because without an inheritance, I was on my own.
There it goes to being self-made and not growing up into money, But although she did grow up with her family was upper middle class. Like in her movie, if you watched her movie that they did for Lifetime, like she had a maid in her house, right? So she grew up in New Jersey, right? And the neighborhood she lived in was predominantly white. So it's like, and the school she went to was predominantly white. Well, that could have been just because it was the times, because where she grew up and the time she grew up in. So it's like she grew up in a upper middle class household. So she wasn't poor, but she is self-made because she doesn't have access, or she didn't have someone help her in family, or had a relationship with somebody to help her in the business. So
once I graduated, and I applied for several jobs, but the one that I took, because it was the only one that I got, was at a little radio station in St. Croix called WVIS. When I got my acceptance letter, it was such broken English. I never showed my mother and father or anybody else, because I knew that my parents would say no, and all of my friends would have been like hell to the no. I took the job sight unseen, graduated from college with a start date of 2 weeks after graduation. And when I got to the island, there were a few things that I already knew.
So no friends, she says no sex by design. Are y'all watching this? Are y'all paying attention?
Number one, I am not here to make friends or fall in love. I gave myself 1 year to get a job in the mainland and get off the island. I had no time to make friends because friends cost money, and I had to use every dime that I made.
She's right. Friends do cost money. I don't have any friends, but it's like for me personally, this is going back to what I was talking about earlier, what Nicki Minaj said, and kind of like being in the moment. It's like once you hit 18 years old, it's like your time, all of a sudden you're almost in your 30s, and it's so quick. It's like you hit 18, you go to school, you may hit a road of depression, anxiety after school, not getting the job that you want, trying to figure out what to do. You don't have any contacts, any resources to be able to get into the business you want to get in. You start working menial jobs and you're not happy there, but you're there to pay your own bills because you live on your own. You need to support yourself. And then all of a sudden you're just like, where the hell did the time go? And you're already almost 30. And that's just my life pretty much. I'm like, wait, I'm almost 30. And then it's not good to compare yourself to other folks that are in the same business as you, or that are in a different business than you, but are doing so well. But it's like you often are looking at people that are in the same business, at least for me, and they graduate around the same time, but they're working for like a high market, making like 6-figure plus a year. And you're like, well, damn, like had I had a job out of college like Wendy did, I could have probably been making like $100,000 a year at 29 years old. But it's like, so, you know, it's very easy to get in that mentality and start comparing yourself to other people who are on a different journey, on a better journey than you are. And I'm guilty of doing that. And so it's like with Wendy in this video, she talks about how she made $60,000 at 22 years old. During that time, that's like making six figures a year. Okay, $60,000 at 22 years old now is good money, right? So with her making $60,000 during her time when she got out of college, which was probably in the 1970s, that's rich money. That's good money, because it's still good money now for someone in their early 20s to be making, living in the South, or hell, even living up north with that money. That's still good money to be making that. So that's what she ended up doing.
To call the states to schmooze program directors to try to get a job. So I had no friends by design. I had no sex by design, because I couldn't afford to slip up and get pregnant. Women in St. Croix at that time were not driven workers. So me being, a well-educated woman from a good, solid family on the mainland, I was ripe. I was ripe for the picking. Thick. Island men like them thick. Oh, I was cute to an island man. The island women didn't like me so much because, God, I wanted to have a career. I really wanted to work. Like, I was too driven. So St. Croix was very different from everything that I ever wanted in my life. And I didn't want any part of that laid-back life at a time when my life was just beginning. $3.25 an hour. I worked a 4-hour shift. I played songs like...
Okay, I don't want to play the song because copyright is tiny whiny. It's like a little song. This is the little, and I don't want to get copyrighted, so I got to skip that.
The whole album had just come out. The Beastie Boys were just popping off. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious? With tiny whiny, they could have told me, Wendy, you can own the radio station now. And I was still being like, oh, hell no. I want to get off of the island. While I was on the island, though, a brand new radio station started in New York. You might remember before 97 was Hot 97, it was 103.5. And the DJs were all Hispanic and Italian. They didn't have a black.
New York, Hot 103.
I can play that.
We get paid for this. Unbelievable. Amazing.
Blackie at your service. I made contact at that point with the brand new program director of that station, Joel. He wasn't ready to hire me. He wasn't even thinking about hiring me, but I caught his attention. He knew I was black, because back then you sent a picture with your resume. And he called me while I was in St. Croix, and he said, well, you're all the way down there. It's not like you can come up here and, do a few overnights or anything like that. He just kind of dismissed it. But only some people leave a stain in the brain that will remain. Whatever. I'm the weird black girl in St. Croix. Maybe he'll never forget me.
That's important. That's so important. So it's like, let's say you want a job, and your job career, your dream career job is to get a job at a certain state in a certain area with a certain person. And it's like you call them up, but you're in a different city, or maybe you call them up, but that person didn't quit. They didn't want to leave, after their contract, and they want to renew their contract. And you're like, your time is coming. So, there's a thing called your subconscious mind where it's like, you tell somebody, hey, my name is Jordan. My goal is to work at New York at a top radio station or a top DJ station. You're the right person to get me there. Here's my resume. Here's my radio reel, my TV tape. And although there may not be an opening at the moment, I'm sure you'll be considering and looking for actual talent in the future. And so a lot of people remember that. And then even if they don't remember that, you as a person have the opportunity to refresh that person's memory and say, hey, I'm that person I called you a year or two ago asking for a job. I sent you my resume, my reel. I actually have a new updated reel and a new resume, within the 2 years of our last talking. And I hear that there's an opportunity at this new radio station or new TV station, and you need talent for that, for that gig. And I'm available. And so it's like, that's pretty much, that's subconsciously at that 2 years ago when you called for the first time, it wasn't for you at that moment, right? But you continued working, and the universe kind of worked for you and everything. Well, it worked for you, not kind of. And you foreshadowed your future, right? So that's pretty much what she's explaining in this video. She's not saying it, but she's explaining it, how her career went. And because it's all about focus. And that's what she talks about in this video.
So 8 months after being in St. Croix, I secured a job in Washington, D.C., just 3 hours from New York, in my dream city. As soon as I got to D.C., I called Joel and I said, guess who it is?
See?
It's Island Wendy, Black Island Wendy. I work in D.C. now. worked at a little radio station, AM station, WOL, $9,000 a year, which was better than $325 an hour. But it wasn't about the money at that particular point. It was about the climb and the focus.
See, the focus, you see?
The focus. Got to DC, didn't care about making friends, didn't care about boyfriends. I cared about getting out of there, gave myself a year, and make it to New York. Get someplace where the men are hot and I can get a boyfriend and stop just focusing on my career. I was in DC under a year. Joel in New York, program director at Hot 103, called me up and said, hey, so you still want to work here? I said, yeah. He said, you start tomorrow, be here by midnight. What? Midnight, New York.
You see, it took her a year. He remembered her. He gave her a midnight time slot, which, you know, in New York, having a midnight slot in New York is, I mean, typically, if it's on like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, people clubbing at the time, they're going to parties and stuff. That's a good time slot for someone that is getting a job in New York, you know. So she explains it here.
Point, I was only like 22 years old. And my friends were still working, selling Lancome at Macy's with big degrees and doing State Farm insurance. Really? Didn't you study to be a doctor? Really? So I was focused and I was on it. I hopped in my Subaru and drove up to Astoria. That's where the radio station was at the time, Astoria, Queens. I got to the radio station about 5 hours early. I was embarrassed that I got there so early, but I'm not familiar with driving in the boroughs, like Queens, you know, Queens. I showed up to the radio station at midnight and they loved me.
Listen, we're going to take a break right now. It's the world famous Top 8 at 8 countdown. I'm Wendy Williams, VJ Ralph McDaniels in the studio, Tribe Called Quest.
Ironically speaking, you know what he loved about me? He loved that my skin was black, but my delivery was white.
This is what I think the girl that was on here was talking about, that Nick Cannon brought this articulation and this well-spoken type of vibe to the show. This is why people like me and other people, Black people particularly, like, I don't know, I take it as an offense when someone tells me that I'm articulate. Like, I had a doctor tell me that, and I don't take that as a compliment. I take that as something that's offensive. And she sort of just acknowledged that in his video, that he liked her because, you know, she was a Black woman, but she also spoke like a stereotypically white woman. You see what I mean? Or spoke to his own narrative of how this world is perceived and how it was built upon, you know, Europeans and slavery and colonialism and stuff. And so, you know, it's just how it is.
Women in radio were still sidekicks, you know. It was Robin Quivers to Howard Stern. If you were a woman on radio, you were doing the slow jam show or sit by some man. When I landed that job 2 years out of college at Hot, I was making a $60,000 a year salary with a tremendous amount of money being made in public appearances. And because I was single and I was young and I had no student loan. So for all intents and purposes, I was rich, very rich. And I haven't looked back, and it all paid off. Then I made up for lost time. Had lots of boyfriends, girlfriends, not girlfriends, not how you doing, but you know, friends were girls, picked up a bad drug habit. Now here I am on the set of my very own talk show.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, that right there, when that video first came out, it came out like 10 years ago. I believe I saw it maybe like 2014, 2015, which is still a significant amount of time. And I was inspired. And that's just how much time I feel like, I'm not going to say wasted, but it's just like I just been in my head and having ideas and it not, you know, not doing anything about it, it not coming into action. And so when people ask me, well, why I always say nice things about Wendy, why I respect her so much, because of that video. I respect someone with a dream and a goal, and they work extremely hard for it. You know, she had a great mindset, great folks. She wasn't worried about friends, because friends cost money. They sure do cost money, especially back in the day when you had to put quarters in the phone, right? And used to call radio stations and network and stuff. And then, back in the day, I don't even think they had calling cards or anything. I don't think they had calling cards in the 1970s. I'm not sure. Let me know, Laura D. They had calling cards in the 1970s. So it's like you had to save money, right? It's not how today with social media and even if you want to go overseas and call overseas, WhatsApp, right? Or Skype or whatever, or Zoom. It's not like that. So I appreciate that she had a focus and a drive to obtain the career that she wanted. And I also relate to her in ways because she knew in sixth grade what she wanted to do. In sixth grade, I knew what I wanted to do because in sixth grade, when they said the announcements on in my middle school, they did it on TV, right? It was on TV, and I've done that, a few times. It would be like the principal in the middle. It would have two students on one side, the other student on one side. One time the principal wasn't there, so I was in the seat of the principal, so I was basically the moderator. And I'm like, you know what? I could see myself doing this, and that started the creation of me falling in love with media. And they had a club called SWAT team. It was like an acronym. It was called SWAT. I forgot what the acronym was, but that started my love, for wanting to be in this career. Long before YouTube happened, long before social media happened. This was in 2004, maybe. I think this was when YouTube started. I didn't even hear YouTube in 2004, because initially YouTube was supposed to be a dating site. A lot of people don't know that this platform here, YouTube, was supposed to be like a dating site, right? And so in 2004, I think I was in sixth grade, like in 2004, or maybe 2003, 2004. So like 2003, yeah, it was 2004, 2003 going into 2004. Like that started my love and just my interest in technology and media and stuff like that. So long before everybody wants to be a podcaster, YouTuber, whatever, long before the bandwagon, and I'm not trying to be negative about what they want to do and stuff like that. But like, I've been wanting this since like 2003, 2004. That's a long time, That's literally most of my life. And so it's like, when you think about it, and you're like, well, damn, I'm here. And I've done something way in the past, but it's like, you can't do that. Everything happens for a reason. So do you see why people don't like her or are jealous? I see why people don't like her, of course, because a lot of people don't like, a lot of people can't take things that she say. I mean, she's done some things that people don't like. I agree. She's done some things that I don't agree with. But, I appreciate her hustle. I like her hustle. I like her dream. She said I liked her focus. Yeah, so that's why I just like her, I remember it was calling card in the 80s. I mean, my people used calling cards in the early 2000s too. Like, they use calling cards. Wendy is non-threatening to whites. I kind of think he's coving for Mr. Daniels if he would have gotten a way more. Who's Mr. Daniels? Who's that? Wendy is a great interviewer. A lot of people may say she's not a great interviewer because some people say different things. What do you think about No Proper Clothes? I only watched like 2-3, probably 2 episodes of Empire, maybe 1.5. Maybe I watched part of second episode. I didn't even finish Scandal. I probably watched. I think season 3. I was on season 3 of Scandal. I didn't even finish that. Right. So I don't know. I didn't watch Empire like that. I probably watched the first, maybe the second episode. So, well, films, she said she's non-threatening. When you're like a talk show host, you have to bring all races in. That's just, you have to, you have to figure out a way to conquer how to bring everyone in. Like, when she was on the radio, I'm sure like her main audience were Black people, right? So now with a talk show, she had to figure out, and her husband had to figure out how to bring everyone in, because the people who were her bosses were white men. Well, they're Jewish, I'm assuming, right? They weren't of the Black race. So it's like they couldn't help her. And her ex-husband stated in a lawsuit that he was the one that was like the quote unquote, he didn't use these words, but the Black liaison, the marketing person, to figure out, okay, how can Wendy Williams touch more of the Black audience and touch more of other races? Because you gotta encompass everyone to have a successful talk show. You just can't do it with one type of platform. If you want one selective target market, then you got to be on Oxygen, or you got to be on a Black type of network, or even like a Black streaming network or something like that. Like, with a TV to be considered mainstream, you have to encompass all races. And so that's not an easy job to do, what Oprah did and what Wendy did. And so it's hard. It's kind of hard sometimes. So But yeah. Oh yeah, and Monique, I'm happy that 50 Cent said that we need to bring Monique back. And I'm like, dude, you're like the CEO, director, whatever you want to call it, of Power. Like, put her in the show. And I think he's gonna put her in the show on Power. So that's good. You know, she doesn't really need other people who don't want anything to do with her. Like 50 Cent, you could bring her back on your show. It's a hit show, right? So so it's good to see. Like, I don't know if y'all saw 50 Cent pay homage to Monique, and he played her clip from Precious. I don't know if y'all watched Precious when she was crying to the therapist. I think Mariah Carey was playing that therapist and everything. And so 50 Cent put the video of Monique like talking to the therapist, and he matched it up with scenes from Power, and he put it together in a story format. And so it went viral, and by it going to viral, over 1 million views, it's like, dude, give her a job. Like, come on now, give her a job. It's not fair, you know? So I'm happy that, you know, she's going to get a job. And I think she signed a deal with some other place as well. And just the other day, Hulu saw her flowers, Hulu, the streaming service. So, you know, I think she has some good blessings coming her way. And I wish her well, because it's not right for someone to, you know, be blackballed for 10 years just because they want to promote a movie, you know, when they didn't even sign a contract. You know, the movie Precious was not supposed to be as big as it was. It was an independent film. Anyone can make an independent film, like a filmmaker from college can do that. They do it all the time. And a lot of people don't know, once they submit it to festivals, that it's going to translate into a big box office movie. And so contractually, she didn't have to go to overseas in France to promote it, right? Now, I would have done it, you know, just because I want to be a professional and stuff, but she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it. She had a talk show. She said she wants to spend time with her kids and her husband. And so by her not doing that, that resulted in her talk show also being canceled, you know, by a Black woman. I think her name is Deborah something. Allegedly, the Black woman canceled her talk show. But I like all kinds. I like hip hop, R&B. I like Latin. I like jazz. I like, you know, Arabic music. I'm open to everything. I even would consider country. I like rock. No, I like everything. And so, but yeah, y'all, been on here for 3 hours. It's been a 3-hour show. This is going publicly. I'm not going to private this video. So thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. It was a lot to cover. And thank you, everyone that came on. I heard nobody didn't get paid enough at all. The movie, she got paid $50,000, and that's not what she's complaining about, because that's what she signed up for. But it's an independent film. Like I said, I think this was Lee Daniels' big break, right, for that movie to do so well. So it was an independent film, meaning that the budget ain't so great. That's what independent is, right? Usually, that's what that means, right? So it's like, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And unfortunately, in Hollywood, when you say no to stuff, it's like they see you as difficult, right? And that's not right. It's not cool. It's not cool. Me personally, I would have went to France for free and promoted that movie for a vacation. I don't know why she didn't want to do it. I guess she said she was doing a talk show, and her family. And I know she had a difficult relationship with her eldest. I'm not sure if she has an oldest daughter or son that's in their late 20s. I believe it's her son, right? She has a son, I believe, that's in their late 20s. And their relationship wasn't good because in her career, she was focused on her career rather than raising. Because it's hard when you want to be a comedian in this business and you have a child at the same time. You got to pick, you know. Or if you don't want to pick, if you want to raise that child, it's kind of hard to do, right? So by her having twins, I believe she has twins now that are like 9-10 years old. She wants to spend time with her kids, right? And so I understand that. I get it. You know, she had a second opportunity to kind of get back the life she missed with her first child and put that into her 2 other kids. And so, you know, as a parent, you want to do that. I didn't see that. The Hidden. Do you have any opinions, Fox News? What the Greta Thunberg said? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. I tried to cover as much as I can. I don't know. Maybe I can save that for the next show. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Squeal, for the super chat. I appreciate it. And If y'all not subscribed to my second channel, it's JOA TV. That's my second channel, JOA TV. Just look that up on YouTube. And then my Instagram is JOA_media right here. That's my Instagram. It's also on this highlight right here, right? So I'd appreciate, I get messages on there. Y'all send me messages on there. I'm like, all of these messages I get, see, random messages y'all send me, random videos. I don't click on them because I ain't about to get no virus. Oh, I didn't know you were in here. You too. Sabah El Noor, I guess that's the right thing to say. You know, it's probably morning. I don't know if you're overseas, right? It's morning overseas, so Sabah El Khair for you. You know, it's nighttime over here. But yeah. All right.